the place for all your gaming news, plus hot topics of the week. Also, remember to follow us on Twitter at KMEGA4.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're live. I think we are live. And I think we might make it through. I can't get too excited. Not yet, because usually it's around the 16th minute mark or something like that. We'll know. We'll find out.
All right.
I know.
Some. Making it hot.
Anyway, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the GRG podcast. It's good to be back and on Friday, our normal time. So what's going on, everybody, man? It's been a crazy week. Birthday week. And you know what I'm saying? I hit level 46. I am proud
of it. Happy birthday, Crusty Dusty.
What's up? Hey, I didn't even think I was gonna get to 30. So I'm to get to this, you know what I'm saying? Somebody talking old man shit. Yeah, I like it. I'm good.
Right?
I love it. Shoot. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Our boy Still Rain would say, if you like it, I love it. So anyway, what's going on, everybody? Let's get to the panel. Well, first get into our special guest. She said, yeah, jinx it. No, I'm not going to jinx it. Anyway, let's get to our special guest. Hey, man, people on the internet, well, I shouldn't say so much on the internet. In the chat, we know him as Hollywood. But, man, out here, he's over here doing videos, doing his thing. You know, he had to come back. Man, our boy Cray Simmons, man. So which one you want to be called tonight? You want to be Hollywood or you want to be Cray? Which one you want to do? Or Mr. Simmons? Which one you want?
Oh shit, nah, not no Mr. Simmons, man. It's all good, whatever, man. Hollywood's cool, great. It don't matter. It's all good. But like you, my birthday was yesterday, so I guess my fellow Virgos up here.
Oh, say word. Oh, today's my brother's birthday. So wow, happy birthday to all three, y'all.
Running. So
appreciate it.
What level? What level?
I hit 43. You got me by a couple of levels. I hit 43.
Couple levels. All right. That's good. That's what I like. That's what I like to hear. So excellent. So man, where can they find you at, man? Let's talk about that right off the bat. Like, I know that you do videos, and I know you post videos on Facebook, things like that. Do you have an official YouTube channel, things like that? Let everybody know that they can find you at, man.
Yeah, I'm Craig Simmons Gaming TV. But like I said, I do stuff, man. It ain't no set schedule, man. Sometimes I might do one a week, sometimes every 2-3 weeks. Just something that catches my attention. I just put my little 2 cents on. It ain't too big. But right there, Craig Simmons Gaming TV. Then on Xbox Live, I'm Hollywood 27910. That's my gamer tag right there. And if you play on PlayStation, it's Craig Dollar. So all those places right there is where I'm at. That's where I be.
No doubt. All right. And what games you been playing here recently, brother?
Man, Scarlet Nexus, I got the hookup from Stone King and New Legal.
Yeah. Shout out to Stone King, man. He's really out here in the community doing really good things, man. Shout out to him, and also
that's a good dude, man.
To my boy, Dorian, man. What's happening, brother? What's happening? Legal. Yeah, I know he's doing this thing out there. Got his podcast running. I've seen my boy Slick over there getting some work, getting some overtime out there. I like that. I like to see when people out there doing get out there. That's part of the family, man. That gets out there and just spread their wings and branch out, do what they need to do. So
he definitely put in his work, as he say, these gaming streets. That's where I got it from. These gaming streets. So yeah.
No doubt. All right, man. So let's get on now. Let's get to the lady of the night. I shouldn't say a woman of the night, but the lady of GRG that's on tonight. How about that? Does that sound a lot better, D?
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. Yeah. What's going on, D? How you doing?
Yo, sir. I'm good, actually. This week kind of flew by.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for the weekend. Get some gaming in, get some sleep in, snacks. I'm ready to go. I'm really excited.
What kind of snacks?
This is gonna really pack.
What kind of
snacks?
What kind of snacks? What snacks?
I mean, so I'm gonna keep it real. My snacks could be like popcorn, or I'll just be like, I'll make some breakfast.
Oh.
And even though it's not technically a snack, it's at a snacking time, so it varies. You know what I'm saying? You never know.
I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
Not mad at you.
I'll be cooking randomly.
Dee be talking listen, she be cooking some things she be mentioning to us, and every time she speaks on it, I'm just like, God damn it, stop talking, make me hungry.
All right.
Stop it.
My bad, bro.
No,
it's all good. It's great stuff. It's like, oh, good idea. I can try that one day.
So let us know in the chat, man, if y'all snacking on something. What's y'all's favorite snack? Let us know.
Maybe some snacks.
Snacks is good. Snacks is good. So okay, all right, good deal. What games you been playing here? I see your achievement little thing pop up on Twitter and then on Xbox. So what you been playing?
Definitely played Psychonauts on Tuesday. A little early. That was pretty cool. I'm trying to pace myself because the last time a game dropped on Game Pass, I beat it in like 3 days. So I'm trying to pace myself with Psychonauts 2. It's really cute. It's charming. It's a breath of fresh air. Not that I don't like playing my action adventures, rated M for mature. But every once in a while, it's nice to have variety. So I've been playing that. And thanks to the Game Pass quest this week, I went back to Plague Tale. And it updated to the optimized for Series X update. So it looks really good. It sounds really good. I love and hate it because, that game has a lot of rats in it. And the rats in the headset is really good, but it's also gross, if that makes sense.
A lot of smacking.
So a lot of smacking. It's high-pitched. you can hear things. So it's like, damn, this shit clear as hell. But they're like, this is really gross. So it's a really good game. I just got like to the real part of it. I think my game save from Xbox One, I had just come back to the house and I was chilling. Like, I really hadn't played the game yet. I really hadn't done anything. So now I'm actually in the game playing it. It's a really good game. It's dark. It's relatable with, the brother. It's a good play. So
Good stuff. Good
good
stuff.
week. Good stuff.
All right, good deal. All right, last but not least, man, our brother's been gone for a little while. Not on top of the fact that I was having a little hiatus for a couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? But what's going on with you, man? I know that you was having the situations happen, real life, when it comes, it hits you, and nobody can
Yes, it does.
when it does. But man, how you been, Slayer? What's been going on, brother?
Been having my ups and downs, and trying to deal with insurance, houses, and stuff. And but things are moving in a positive direction. I did get to play a couple of games here and there. But before I even talk about that, happy birthday to you, sir, and our guest.
Thank you.
And indeed, today is my brother's birthday. He's either
wow.
54 or 55, I forget. But
Wow.
he if it wasn't for him, long story short, I may not be with you guys right now, talking about games, because he was the one who bought that Commodore 64 way back in the days. It was the first system I played anything on, and my other brother, he would play it a lot, and I would just watch them play games and stuff. So that really started me on the road to being a game enthusiast. So if it wasn't for him, maybe you wouldn't be hearing my voice right now. So happy birthday to my big bro,
No doubt.
and happy birthday to both of you guys. But yeah, I haven't played too much, but I did play the Riders Republic beta. But at the time when I played it, I had to be under NDA, and I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it right now, even though they've extended the beta. So I'll just say yeah, I've been playing that, and I will continue to play that.
Oh,
We'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that.
You're gonna see some gameplay tonight.
Excellent,
You're gonna
folks.
see some
Because
gameplay. now listen. It's not going to be glamorous, but it is because I recorded the 64 player big race, and so I was still trying to learn how to fly those jetpack things. And so I'm not very good at flying those
the wingsuits.
The wingsuits. Well, no, the wingsuits I can do. It is it's the things that got the jetpacks on. The
wingsuits with the jets on it, but it's like wings. Those.
Yeah. So I'm like, I have a problem with that. So you'll be seeing me wreck it and crash and everything else. Now on that bike and that ski guy, boy, I tell you, boy, in that air, it's a problem. So but yeah, I think because it's an open beta, so if and I didn't see anything that had the NDAs or anything about
No, you would have had to sign the NDA to have the NDA, but I know now that they've extended the beta. I think the version I'm playing is the same version as the public beta now, but I'm not 100% sure. So not to risk anything, I just won't say anything other than the fact that I'm going to continue to play it, and that should be all you all need to know.
Right, and because there was a big difference between that and then me being a part of the X Defiant beta, which you can't say nothing about that. So, and I do want to say something about it. I mean, but of course, until that's right. But other than that, Riders Republic will definitely be shown on the gameplay tonight if anybody's interested. But okay, all right, man. So let's get to it.
Cool.
Hey, Bloody.
Yeah.
Hey, Bloody.
Oh yeah, what up, Bloody?
Shout him out real fast.
Yeah, shout out Bloody in the chat. Shout out.
No, he's right here.
No, he here though.
I'm right here.
He here though.
Oh, you here? What the hell? Oh, you
like 2 minutes. He's only been here like 2 minutes.
He in here.
Bloody here. Hold on. I don't believe you.
Hey, I ain't rude. I don't just come in and start yelling at the top of my lungs to introduce myself. I be respectful.
Oh, so there's a certain individual that you say. Oh, so you say what? Okay, all right. Hold on. I gotta find it. Where is it at? Okay, Brooklyn. All right. Anyway, so Bloody, what's been going on, man? Long time no here, man. What
game was that?
I know. I was like, I've been very busy. For those who don't know, I've been working. Been a lot going on, so I have been massively away from everything. But it's good to be back every now and then, doing doing stuff, trying to get things going, working on the back end. Got a lot of stuff that I'm working on. But you know what? It's good to be back. It's nice to be here when I can be. So, I've been just outside of obviously working. I've just been gaming all the time. I was like, me, never stop.
Never stop. No doubt. No
Well,
doubt.
congratulations on your achievement, sir. We'll just leave it at that.
Congratulations on that, and also congratulations on your on your article that you got out there. I know you with Level One Gaming.
Yes, sir.
So shout out to Fame and them.
But
that was a good read. That was a good read. That was a lot of stuff. There was a couple of those Japanese games that I seen that I was like, oh snap, I don't even know what this is. But there was some that I was like, oh man, yeah, I would love to see those games come back. So yeah, that was a really good article, man. You did a lot of good stuff with that. So
and that one was a big thing for me because I took like 3 weeks to write that because I really dug through. For those who don't know about the article that he's mentioned, is that I wrote an article about the Japanese support on Xbox and the history that it ties to the whole platform, good and bad. So I really had to sit there and dig through a lot of the older games from the OG Xbox era, 360, and like I really took the time to really like go in on it and stuff like that. So everyone knows here that I'm the Japanese enthusiast, so I try to put as much of that showcase for all the good and bad of it for everyone who thinks that Japan hasn't supported Xbox. No, it was. It's just one bad era can literally reset a lot of things.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, one generation has caused a lot of people to question a lot of things, but I don't know. We'll get more into a little bit of all of that because we will be talking Gamescom because we don't have that many topics tonight. So Gamescom is going to be probably our biggest topic because we're going to go through every game and get everybody's thoughts about it. But I do have to start off and talk about something that I think that's important to everybody on the panel. Well, maybe not everybody, because Bloody, you're not the biggest Halo fan, but
I can't stand Halo.
Oh man, come on, Hollywood. What did I do?
You know what? Hey, hold on. You know I'm joking. I just had to do it.
He had to be trolling. Like, come on, man.
I had
too easily. Triggered too easily, bro.
I had to do it. I had to be that guy.
Okay. I mean, he could try troll it, but I was like, I've been always upfront about that.
Yeah,
while I respect Halo, I was like, I'm not a diehard Halo fan. I was like, I enjoy it, but it's not.
You know what? That's cool though. It ain't for everybody. Every game ain't for everybody, but Halo is. Man, Halo's the shit.
I respect its history and I enjoy the game, but it's just like I'm not one of those people like, oh, I gotta play Halo. It's like no, I was like, I've been wanting to play it, but it's not like I need to play it. That's my stance.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And what's up, everybody, man? For real, if you could send this out, go do that. I'm not trying to touch anything right now because it's working. I don't want to touch too much. Nothing. I just want to
on a beta OS because that was the best idea on the planet.
I know it was a beta OS, and then I'll be fat fingering stuff, so you know how that goes. But yeah, check out this gameplay right here. You seeing this is Riders Republic, the 64, the online, like just all people. There's no bots in there. It is crazy. So dope. Anyway, look at them skills. Look at them skills.
When you fall. There you go.
Oh shit. Yeah, that hurt. Okay,
I've been wanting to, I just downloaded the Riders Republic beta, and I've been really wanting to check it out because it actually looks fun. Like
it is very fun.
Steep was a bad attempt at trying to do the sports thing from Ubisoft because it focused solely on the snowboarding, which isn't bad. Like, I mean, look at SSX, right? But I think Riders Republic is like a better step because it's like going into all the extreme sports. You know, you had mountain biking, the skydiving with the wingsuits, the snowboarding, and everything else, and then like the jetpack flying and stuff like that. Which is kind of why I liked what the Crew 2 did from the Crew 1 because they really try to focus on that extreme sports when it comes to motorcraft, right? You know, you had the many different types of cars and all the extreme sports that come to that. Then they, introduce the boats and the planes and stuff like that. So I really like that they're trying to really mix it up and it's working for them.
Yeah, so yeah, it is fun. All right, now here where it really gets bad, and I didn't really pay attention to that because it's choppy. Sometimes when I record off of this one software, it does that, especially when I record a lot because I recorded like 3 hours straight, and so then I was going through and it seems I thought I cut out most of the choppy stuff, but it doesn't matter. I'm finna
Sounds like a
crash.
memory leak. Like if it goes too long and it starts leaking memory and it's picking up RAM or messing with the computer.
Yeah. See right here. I'm trying to fly it. I'm trying to fly with everything I have, and then I'm just biting the dust. Okay. Anyway, so but yeah, no, I would recommend people to download Riders Republic and try it for yourself because it's way more stuff than that. It's the bike. It's you ski, snowboard. You got like this thing with the rocket suit, but you also got like a squirrel suit. You got like these crazy bicycles with rocket boosters on them. It's a trip, man. It is really cool, crazy in the city. I mean, well, the world itself is just massive. There's so much stuff to do within this beta. So, and all that stuff transfers over as well. So, if you want to check it out, go check it out. And you can play it online with friends, up to 6 people. So.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those demos to check out. Same with like bro, I've been telling everyone the what's it?
What up, Xbot?
Tales of Arise. Tales of Arise is.
Oh, you just missed that gameplay. Yeah, great game. Great game.
Oh yeah. Tales is absolutely looking great.
It really is. Too. Every time I see footage, I keep thinking, yeah, I do need to play this. I keep dismissing it in my mind, but I know I can't.
Right. Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. So, all right, man. So let's talk about Halo. Some more information came out today, and of course, it's got a lot of people being concerned. And Xbot, I'm glad you came. What's one bad mother? What's happening with you, man? I'm talking about Halo just right on time because basically there's some more things that will not be in or has people confused. And that is the way that the battle system is going to work. The battle system is now going to be, it's not like traditional where you keep playing and for your wins, you earn XP. How they're going to give you XP is through the challenges. If you played the beta, the technical beta, you got to see that. And what you would do is that you would earn these cards, and then when you would you get these cards, and then for every time that you would complete them, like let's just say it would tell you kill 20 bots or whatever, and then so you would kill 20 bots, then it would translate over, you would get XP, and then that would give you an opportunity to get into the battle pass system. And so I didn't really have that much of an issue with it because I'm just looking at it from the beta aspect of it. I think what the biggest problem could be is that people think that the old traditional way of how we've been seeing battle passes work, if you don't have enough content to go in throughout the day, which 343 said they did. They said they would have so much that there was no way that people can get past that within a day. I don't know. That's still yet to be determined because there's some people that really that knows how to know life some games. But they said that they're going to have so much content that they will, when it comes to these challenges, that people will still feel like they're reaping the rewards. And then also the last part of this is that another reason why people are upset is because they're saying that this will promote people to spend money on, battle packs or whatever. This is more enticing. So they think it's not so much predatory, but almost to the point to where they're trying to get people to get frustrated enough to spend money instead of play throughout the game. So I'm going to go to our guest first. Bot, what you doing in here? What you doing?
Yo, what up, man?
What's happening here?
You're talking about something I want to talk about, man. So I decided I was going to jump in for this topic. Is that okay?
I was talking to you yesterday. We was on the next podcast. What's going on? What are you
doing? But see, the news about this whole XP season pass situation, it didn't break.
Got folks cracked out, bro.
They're overblowing this so much that.
Can I get to my real guest?
Yeah. Go ahead, man. I'll wait patiently, bro.
Wait patiently. You already did a podcast. You already came from one.
No, but you're talking about something I really want to talk about, man. So I figured I could jump in.
Oh no, that's no problem.
But hey, let Bot talk, because I don't do the multiplayer in Halo. So when it comes to that XP,
you don't do the
multiplayer.
You don't do the multiplayer.
Nah. No, that's why I said when people were tripping about the co-op missing and all that shit didn't bother me, because I guess I play solo by myself, and then later on go back. And if I play the multiplayer, I know I ain't gonna win. So I just run in there and might blow some shit up for a little bit call it a day. If that's just how I am. Same thing with Gears. I don't do the multiplayer.
You get in where you fit in, and you keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing.
Yeah, that's so long as that campaign straight, and I jump in on the multiplayer side, and like I tell people, hey, I suck at it, but if y'all just want me to run around shoot some shit, that's what I do. Just have fun. So I'm not the right person to talk about that when it comes to the XP, how you leveling up, the cards and all that. That ain't me. I don't focus on that stuff like that, man. But I'm just the campaign guy when it comes to Halo, man. That's me. And the firefight, and then on Halo 5 when they did was it the Warzone? That was pretty cool. I played a little bit of that. Yeah, man, that was about it, man.
But that was about it. All right, so you more of a story guy. All right. So
that's it, yeah.
Well, okay, so I gotta go because I haven't heard from Bloody in a really long time. So by you're just gonna have to wait just a little bit longer.
Yeah, but Bloody's so long-winded though, man. I don't know.
Bloody,
I was like, it's literally. I know I'm long-winded, but it's Halo. I'm very quick on these topics.
Right. Not ready to go, man. Not ready to go.
I'm like, Bot, you're the long-winded one, so you can shut the hell up right now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bot's gonna be long-winded, and so I'm you just gonna wait.
Pixar didn't happen, bro. Pixar didn't happen.
I can literally look in your DMs and literally see how much you fangirl over Halo.
That is true.
All right. No. I meant what I said when I said
You're questioning my sexuality right now. I don't
Oh
like that.
my God.
I meant what I said.
What's happening, Stanley?
Now,
oh my goodness.
Continuing on.
Yes, sir.
All right. Here's how the thing about it all is that it's one of those things that it really is ridiculously blown out of proportion. The fact, yes, that you can only get the challenges to get these experience for the battle pass, that can be a bit of one of those things that, hey, that means that you have to do all this time to really grind it out to get everything that you want on it. But people don't understand that, guess what? They've already openly said, even from before this show, back at E3, that if you are unable to complete a battle pass during the season, guess what? It gets saved. So for people who aren't able to finish a battle pass and don't have the time to sit down and grind it out like others do, you're not being penalized. I was like, if you're able to do only so many hours a day, you can do a few of those challenges. And guess what? If you don't complete it during a season, which is about 3 months' time, you can always go back and replay that battle pass and finish it up later if you find a day where you have more time, but you don't want to focus on the new one. You want to go back and work on the old ones. You're able to do that. It's not like in Activision with Call of Duty where if you don't play at all during those 3 months and you don't finish the battle pass, guess what? You lose out on everything. They've been very upfront with what you're going to get, how you're going to be able to get it, to really take into account of everyone's time investment compared to other games. That's what it is.
When it comes to that, first off,
let me get the super chats, and then you go ahead. You can go ahead, Bot.
Oh my goodness!
No. He can go after me. I got something quick to say too.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yo, KMEGA, you should have had me go first. I was going to say something similar to what Bloody said. I was going to be more articulate.
Well, since Bloody already said it,
I really present it well instead of that hodgepodge that we got from Mr. Bloody over there.
What is this slander towards Bloody? This is ridiculous. Anyway, all right.
I said it direct and up front. I was like, you want to be all fancy worded and articulate.
Hodgepodge.
Hypnosis, thank you so much. He says, love the show. You all are awesome. You know what I'm saying? Dirk Griggity, what's up with you, brother, man? Doing good things over there with We Bleed Green, man. Shout out to you and everybody out there. Hey, man, you better tell your boy Devin, man, when I hit him up, man, ask him when to come on the show, man, you got to hit me back up, bro. I'm not understanding that. Are y'all too big for me?
Oh shit!
Yeah, I got to throw that shade. I hit up Devin, and Devin probably just did check and shit. But man, tell Devin I said what's up. I was trying to hit him up and see him trying to get onto the show. But yeah, shout out to you guys. And then, oh man, my main man, Stone King X. Listen to that. Oh man, thank you so much, man. Thank you. Oh! All right, so pull that rank on him. Because Bot ain't a part of everything else. He's not part of this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Look at
I'm gonna keep this real quick for you, Bot, because this is not gonna be too serious for me either. But there's a lot of people who like to try to capitalize on situations to make clout for themselves, and there's some other people I could name, but I'm gonna keep this real professional and talk about people who focus on Halo, like Halo Xperia, he put up a video where he tried to make complaints about the whole situation. Or you must know what I'm talking about, Xbot, right? Because he's one of these naysayers out here.
I'm a part of that community, man. When it comes to like Halo follower experience, like, oh my god, some of the arguments is just ridiculous.
Right. So Halo Xperia is taking a negative approach to this, where he's like, see, because the common thread that all these naysayers seem to have to this news is that, so every game I play isn't furthering my goals with XP points or whatever, and thus they believe that they're not getting what they're working towards with every play. But you really don't know that. You really don't know that from the the technical preview we played, right? That was at an accelerated rate of XP earning, and even then you was able to buy, quote unquote, one of the season passes or whatever, right? So you got all that content right there, but then you had to play through it, and it's this whole thing that's really not realistic, because it's just like a short period of time you had to play and test it. So all these people are trying to make it seem like every round you play isn't giving you XP or points or whatever metric they use, to unlock the things that you want to unlock. And we really don't have that much information to make any kind of conclusion like that at all. I know some people are concerned. I understand how Halo Xperia must feel, but he's been one of the naysayers when it comes to Halo Infinite for a long time now. And what Bloody said from the beginning is the facts. They let us know that these season passes aren't going anywhere. If you buy one and you're only halfway through it and you buy another one, you can switch between them and unlock them that way in your own time, your own pace. You haven't played the full complete game yet to say that, every round you play may or may not be worth it towards unlocking the goals and, the things you want to unlock, because you have, a limited understanding of what's going on. Like, stop doing that for clout or whatever. Like, it seems to me that's what's going on with that. There are other names I can name. I'm not getting into that, but really, like, I think these people really need to chill. Really, really, really need to chill. They're being so honest and forward facing about this whole situation, about the whole game, and have been for a long time, for you to come and question them now.
Wow,
and that's all I really have to say on that.
We come to talk about some Halo, and people want to start popping in here. Man, One Bad Mother, it is an honor, brother. What is going on? This is my Halo brethren right here, and if you didn't know, I've told this story to people, but this is the man right here who saved me from a lot of despair, because I was looking for a Series X and he had one. And he hooked me up with it. So I was like, well, I had to pay for it, of course. But I mean, he got it. I got it. So yeah, what's up, One Bad Mother? How you doing, bro? What's going on?
What is up, guys? I know it's been too long, man. Usually I'm out and about on Friday nights, but here I was today, and I was like, man, you guys are talking, my language. I know this one. So, but yeah, man, me and Mega played a lot of Halo together. I had to make sure that he wasn't stuck on
God
those.
God bless you, One Bad. God bless you for that.
Hey,
man, yeah. I had to make sure KMEGA, wasn't playing Halo on those slow hard drives, and so I had to make sure I got him one of those. I ended up pre-ordering a couple, because at first I thought one of those would probably fall through, and it didn't, so it worked out. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on. I'll let you guys keep talking. I know Xbox been waiting patiently, so I won't take too much longer here. But yeah, keep going.
My son's waiting patiently. I got to do a raid after this. So.
Okay, all right. Well, that's fine. But I do let everybody know where they can find you at, though. One Bad Mother. You know what I'm saying, for the people who haven't heard about you.
Oh yeah. So if you guys haven't heard about me, I work with I'm part of the team over at Xbox Era. I'm one of the senior editors, so I do put out articles over there. We do actually have a Halo podcast, so if you guys are tuning in here and you like Halo, we actually recorded one yesterday, so you go find that at Xbox Era. So You Had Me at Halo.
I need an invite to that. Yeah, when am I going to be a special guest here? Come on, bro.
Man, come on now. Come on.
Oh shit!
Shoot
your shot. Shoot your shot.
Yeah. But yeah, so you guys go ahead, check it out. We run it about every 2 weeks. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 1, depending on the news. But about every other week we talk Halo. Yesterday went for 2.5 hours. A lot to say. Hopefully we'll get to some of those topics, after this one. But you can also find me at Muhta_1 MUHTA_1 on Twitter. So. But yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate
what other podcast that can he find you at too, other than there? Because don't you?
A lot of times I'm guest on, on Brap. He invites me, to kind of add a little bit of, some sense to all the Sony. I'm kidding.
It's really facts, but go ahead. That's kind of, yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. No, me and him go back like 20 years. We actually, when Xbox Live launched, we became online friends, and obviously it's crazy how people you stay in touch with them all this time. I always say too, like when we disagree about gaming stuff, it is just gaming stuff, man. Like we see out there in the real world, there's a lot of real problems, and sometimes people go at each other, and this is all should just be fun, even when you don't agree, and a lot of times we don't, even when we're talking offline, we have totally opposite sides on a lot of gaming thoughts. Yeah, but it don't matter, right? Like that's not a thing. So I'm on there a lot. I'll actually be on tomorrow. I'll be on the Xbox Arrow's main podcast. That's usually John and Nick are usually the mainstays there, but occasionally, this would be, I'll be making another guest appearance there tomorrow. So if you want to check me out there, you can find me there too. So that's enough. I did a lot of promotion.
Hey, that's it, man. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so let's get to D and let's get what she has to say, and then Bot, you can go ahead, and then I think that's when the real discussion is going to really start blowing up, because D is going to be, I think, nice about this. I don't think she's going to be slanderous, but I don't know. D can surprise me. So D, what do you think? What's going on? Are you a little concerned about Halo and what's in this approach with the Battle Pass situation?
I never played a Halo. What you ask?
I know. All right. So will this entice you to try to go and try to play Halo, or is this one of those things where you're just like, nah, I'm gonna stay away from it like the plague?
So I don't have.
Okay.
I don't have a frame of reference or context. Except I've played like Red Dead Online, and once that battle whatever pass is done, it's done. So the fact that they're saying hey, if you complete it or not, you'll have access to it is cool. But if I have the space and the time, I'll definitely install it, because it's gonna be part of Game Pass. But besides that, I really don't have much other to say. I don't like speaking on things I'm not.
I know. But I gotta get to you, man. It would be bad to just sit there and hey, everybody else. Nah, I gotta let the crew get there first. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it, but
I appreciate Bot coming in here being filthy, but you know what I'm saying? He gotta wait his turn. Anyway, Bot now.
Yeah, filthy. All right. I got you, bro. It's all good.
Look at that. Are we gonna have? Is it good?
Oh, I've been muted this whole time. Now your time has arrived.
Yeah, I'm almost ready, man. 1 second.
Oh, but 1 second, I gotta say. I did want to say the bad mother I said before, and I was muted and didn't realize. I really like the Xbox Era website, and I really like how you guys keep it very positive. No drama, no BS, because the other Era, and it used to be another site, I've been following that site for 20 years, and it devolved into something horrible. And I see you guys are actively trying to keep it from being that, and I really gotta say I appreciate that.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Like if you guys like to talk Xbox stuff, we do actually have forums too. Xbox Era has a website.
Yes, forums are great.
Yeah, so come over there. We try to stamp out all the console wars either way. So it's really so it's really just keeping it to gaming. There's an acquisition thread for all the rumors for that. There's all kinds of stuff. Halo threads and stuff like that. So come over there and talk gaming if you guys don't want to get run off by the other era is a little bit harder to talk. Talk Xbox.
No doubt.
All right. What up, Jesse?
Now then, Xbox.
There you go. So, Bot, here we go, brother. All right, now you got the floor. This is you. So what are Okay, so I know. Talk about a little bit of what you were saying on Next last night, and then also this situation that's going on with this.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
I whatever happened on Next in terms of my concerns, that doesn't really qualify for what's going on when it comes to XP progression with your season pass. Now, what I want to tell people, this is the epitome of pick up and play. They said they didn't want to get people, get them stressed out on having to fill out, their season pass and get ranked up and get the things that they want within the season pass. So, like Bloody said, like Six Slayer said, once you get the season pass, that is yours, and you have multiple season passes. You can actually pick which ones you want to go through. Now, the thing about having challenges is it expands your gameplay. All right, if you're the type of person that you love the assault rifle, we all know when it comes to Halo, they balance out their weapons equally throughout. You can take somebody out if they have a rocket launcher with your Magnum. That's the way it is. If you get good enough with each weapon, you can size up against any other weapon in the game. So if you're having challenges, like say you have to take out so many Spartans with your sidearm or something like that, that adds a layer to the game. It adds a layer of fun. It expands your gameplay. Now all of a sudden you are more accustomed to that Magnum. You're gonna, whenever you pick up and play it, you might use the Magnum more in certain situations. Kind of like expanding your experience, expanding your fun, getting you to kind of like reach outside of your box. When it comes to just your gaming, right? Just gaming and just adding experience to it. There's no real sense of satisfaction in there. If you think about it, the only satisfaction is like you played enough to max out your season pass. But with the season pass not having an expiration, you can go in on these challenges. You can go outside of how you're used to playing and find something different, a different angle to a game that you're going to be playing so many hours in. And there's no pressure on having to do it within a certain amount of time. I don't understand why people are bugging out and they kind of want to bring it back to the whole there's no real sense of triumph except just playing the game enough to get the season pass done and over with. Like why they did it?
Why? That's a simple answer. That's a simple answer to that question, bro. There's a segment of the Halo community who pines for the old days, and they don't want to hear nothing else about.
But talking
Halo
about the old days, Halo Reach did the exact same thing that they are doing now with Halo Infinite.
Right. That's exactly. I just gave. Hey man, that was a slow throw, and you knocked it out the park. There it goes.
Halo Reach did the exact same thing. There were certain challenges to get certain armor pieces and stuff like that. And if you really wanted those armor pieces, you would go in and try to hit that challenge. It became a challenge. It became a game. A game has a challenge to it, and within that, once you accomplish that, you get that sense of satisfaction. That sense that you did something that when you first looked at it was like, damn, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. That sense of accomplishment, that feeling that you got with like the older, like the Halo Reach and stuff like that, they're bringing that back. So I have no idea why, I believe what Six said with the YouTubers that have been around that focus on Halo, why they are complaining about it. And then you got these people that won't even pick up a controller and play this game and want to just talk negatively about it, and they're running with this whole thing as well, when in all actuality it's a great way to step up that season pass, to not have it expire, to have these challenges that will get you to like play outside of your realm and possibly get you into a different space, a different angle with playing the multiplayer. I really like what they're doing with this, and this backlash is completely overblown and completely unnecessary, in my opinion, bro.
Okay, I like that. Sir X Man in the chat, he said, "What up, GRG, KMEGA, and everybody? What's going on with you, Sir X Man? Hey, man, I'm gonna root and support when I can, because normally, what I'm saying, on Sundays I'm usually doing other stuff, but I will definitely I'm rooting for my boys. Sir X Man and Cerebral Paul is going to be doing a podcast called the Elder Podcast." So, you know what I'm saying? If you think I'm old because I'm level 46 now, that, you know what I'm saying, you should think about them old farts, man, because they way older than me. So
Say One Bad Mother, yo, you sped KMEGA up in all his gameplay. You gotta watch out. A couple more birthdays, the gameplay might be too quick for him, man. I don't know.
listen, hold on, Bot. I know you sound like you 13, but your ass is just around the corner. So I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know, Bot sound like he about 45.
Yeah. Bot had a condition called his balls didn't drop. So that was all that was.
Oh, no.
Man. Oh,
Yo,
no,
guys, on that
man.
note, man, I gotta go do Vaulted Glass.
Gotta get out of here.
I've been here though. I appreciate it.
Well, no, okay.
Yo,
Let me
I
ask you
could
one
say-
question before. Well, let me
I
ask you
could say it was a warm welcome, but at least he showed me love. That's all that matters.
Oh no, that's my boy, man. Bob,
Yeah.
Me and Bob been doing this for so long, man. You know what I'm saying? Nah, if people don't think that we cool, man, it would be awkward. So
He's the only one. He's the only one I called at 2 a.m. with real life problems. All right, that is my brother right there
No doubt.
to the end, no doubt. Yeah.
No doubt.
And KMEGA is one of the only people up at 2 a.m. too.
True. Unless
One of the
we
reasons
playing
why I
Halo,
called him,
because
too.
I mean I know One Bad Mother is going to be up with me, so with the
Yeah,
Don, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So we gonna do that. So it is what it is. So all right. So okay, what Bot? You said so. You done? You done? You just wanted to make
He
that
left.
point?
He's
Oh, okay.
gone.
He's
Yeah,
out.
he already
All right.
left.
All right, so One Bad Mother, what's your thoughts, man? I mean, you know, overall, and then you know, I wanted to kind of get Bot to give his concern, because what he was saying on the next podcast last night was his concern not so much about the game, but for 343. That's something that's something, of course, that we've been hearing over and over again. I made this point last night by saying we were hearing the same thing about Naughty Dog. When you was hearing about the crunch, when you was hearing about, you know, all the horrible things that was going on, that was being done with contractors, so forth and so forth. You know, you hear those same things within 343, not as harsh, because they were just making it seem like that the people in charge were just cutthroat. But do you have some concerns about Halo Infinite? And then what is your thoughts about the situation going on with the Battle Pass?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I guess I'll start with the smaller issue, or the smaller thing is the Battle Pass. And just to be really transparent, people, like this is something in all the hours of multiplayer I play, Battle Pass is not the thing. I think I might have bought one ever in any game. So it isn't something.
How many millions are you sitting on Halo 5 on those space bucks?
Yeah, I mean, I had like 8 million rec points or more, or something crazy.
Yeah.
That's just not my thing as much. I just like to play the games. So yeah, obviously the area that I think I'm more invested in is like the other stuff we'll be talking about. But I will say this about the Battle Pass. I guess the one thing I will say about 343, and yeah, we'll kind of get into them a little bit here. Obviously, they've had, you know, they've had their ups and downs, but I think people would. We'll get into some of the other story there, but the one thing I can say that they've done extremely well is they've been very transparent. They tend to take feedback from the community pretty well. They are, and in fact, you know, and this is probably something that not everybody is going to feel the same way on, but I mean that's going to be one of the things that we're going to find with Halo over the course of its, you know, over its existence, that the feedback from the community is going to have do a lot to drive it. So things like this that are just design decisions that, to me, and again, I'm not developing this thing, so I don't know how in depth that is. I don't know how hard it is to change. I'm thinking that you can tweak your systems pretty, you know, if you have all these options for ways you can get people points. There's probably, if there's not a direct way to do it like they did it before, there's probably indirect ways to get there. And so, you know, if the community, if the hardcore communities is consistently, you know, not happy with it, I think that's something that you could see, you know, tweak down the road. And so that's why it's something I guess I just don't get worked up too much one way or another. It is something that definitely, you know, if you feel a certain way, give them feedback. They are taking constructive feedback, and they've even asked for it on Twitter, you know, so it's not like you can't be negative about things. I think it's just as long as you're being respectful about it, you can tell people, you know, what it is you don't like. And right now, this is an area that a lot of the community has, you know, voiced an opinion about. So we'll see what happens there. About though 343 overall and concerns with them, like, so I think the first thing, we had a lot of, you know, rumors, insights, heard a lot of things going on. Obviously, there's some stuff that's been public, with them changing leads, and that's something that you don't get to see a lot of times, down the home stretch of a development. And so I think that's one of the reasons a lot of things that got highlighted. But at the end of the day, really, the reason why there's so many eyes and there's on 343 is, how big this game is, not just in terms of its name, but like the whole package they're offering, all the employees they've had there over the last 6 years. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is that AAA development in general is, it's like going in for surgery. Like, even when you think everything's good, you just never know, so it's like one of those things where it is hard, all of them. And if you really even watch a documentary on Halo 2's development or God of War's development. Yeah, like
this happened before.
Yeah, if we had Jason Schreier and Twitter back in 2004, all the leads for Bungie would have been in jail. I'm kidding, but sort of. I mean, they basically, everything you saw the year and a half before that game launched was not real. It was built in an engine that they didn't use. It was not running on it. They even admitted after the fact that could never run on the Xbox One. I even heard
they admitted that if you move the camera around to places you weren't supposed to be looking, that was bad enough to crash the demo right then and there too. So you could only look in particular areas at the time when they're doing the demo.
Oh yeah, I think that's not uncommon. I think for vertical slices, we'd have to ask Don about that. But I think I've heard that for a lot of vertical slices, they are they're not the real game. You're seeing only what they want you to see, and you don't know what's scripted. You don't know what's real dynamic AI. You don't a lot of it's kind of being held together, and it's not necessarily them just grabbing the game where it's at and playing it for you. I think that's what people think they're seeing, and it's not. And so, you look at Halo 2, they ended up cutting a third of the campaign. People didn't know about it. The developers were, Microsoft said, "Hey, we're not we're not delaying this." They were sleeping under their desks, basically. So, this is that was a game that was probably the most important, maybe the most important game Microsoft has ever released, because it is what kind of took them to the next level, boosted Xbox Live. So I bring up that story, and then if you read about God of War, I mean, it was months before that was released, and Yoshida was like, "Oh, this is crap." He didn't think it played well. So a lot of games, and Don's told us this, right? KMEGA, he's told us a lot of games come together late. Oh, yeah. So yeah, I mean, so when people go, "Oh, there was leadership issues, there was troubles," it's like, okay, there's troubles on a lot of the AAA games. A lot of them get delayed, and you don't even know why. You don't know what happened. We got Dying Light 2 coming out end of this year. That was supposed to come out. Wasn't it over a year ago as well? Mm-hmm. And that's just I think that's just a single player game. So so that stuff happens. What I kind of focus on, though, is with Halo, where it's at. It's not so much trying to whataboutism or it's make excuses. It's when I look at it, I still have a lot of optimism for the game. And the reason is we saw last year, we saw what the game's supposed to play like, right? I know it didn't look the way people hoped it would look next gen, but we saw a slice of what they envisioned this game would play like within these open environments. And I felt like most people said the gameplay was good. I thought the gameplay was good. And then we had a chance to get further into it, and we saw with our own, with putting our hands on it, we got to see how, the Master Chief moves and how the guns feel, and, the differentiation in some of these guns and things like that with the tech test. We saw some of the AI, we saw some of the physics, with the grapple hook, how it's physics based, throughout the environments, not just, it's not as scripted as a lot of the stuff you see out here. And then I went back and I started watching those videos again from last year. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden it was almost it clicked a little bit differently. It's oh, wait, I could grapple there and there. And I didn't even know that. When you're watching it, you think you don't know what's scripted and what's dynamic. And it's based on what I played in that demo now, it's okay, now you get this AI. If you start getting that to start doing more interesting things like what we saw in that demo, and you start to, I start to put it on a higher difficulty where maybe, hey, I got to take out this elite and then grapple hook his weapon, on behind something. You know what I'm saying? You start to think of Halo fans. I feel I understand why a lot of people can't see that. But I think if you've been playing Halo a long time and you've looked
Right.
at all that stuff a lot, it to me, I'm not. I said this on Twitter today. It's like I really feel like we have more information that the gameplay loop and the actual core foundation of the gameplay is going to be good more than we have on most AAA games. Now, I can't speak to where the graphics are. I don't know if we're going to get ray tracing. That to me, that's not a big deal, I guess. But for some people, that might be. I don't know how the story is going to go.
I think that's just just a reason for people to cap. That's it. I don't think from what we've seen from those picks. And I mean, there are in-game cutscenes, but that they looked beautiful and they looked 10 times better than what we've seen last year. So you can tell that there's some polish for sure on the game. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's one other fact, and this is actually something Slow-Mo brought up yesterday on his show, which I'm going to take it maybe a step further, but he did mention that, when they said they got in a shutdown mode, what shutdown mode, I went back and read it word for word, and he's right. It's shutdown mode means that they're not adding features, they're not changing the campaign anymore.
That means it must be in a proper beta now. It's not alpha. That means like features are there now.
Yeah, the game is basically from a structural standpoint, it's done. All they're doing right now is the bug fixing. It's probably the optimization. We'd have to ask again, Don. I'm making some assumptions based on developer conversations, things like that. But like in this phase of where the game is, they're not going to be changing the story or the game design or the enemies or anything. So to me, that says at least at this point, when they're saying they're going to launch December 8th, they're confident in what they have structured.
Right.
So when people say, well, they didn't show it at Gamescom, that means they're not confident. The reason they didn't show it at Gamescom is because if you have an unfinished work, which means that maybe the game's not optimized right now, maybe it's still not visually exactly where they think it's going to be when it's done. Because, again, that some of that comes into some of that has to do with how well it's optimized, because you can have a scale of settings. Don's talked about this too, where you have a scale of settings, and depending on how well it's running, you can go up to the higher scale of whatever those visuals are. So they probably, they're probably still getting that stage of it as good as they can. And if they were to build a vertical slice for a Gamescom 3 months, that's going to take resources away from the bug testing and optimization. Now, when they're done with that, he did say, when we're done with that stuff, we will get captures and we will show, you guys want to see it. So it's going to be closer to launch. But to me, I'm good with that because I understand the process. I think a lot of people don't understand the process. So they go, well, you're not confident. It's like, why even do that to yourself? Why would you even show it now if you think it's going to look
that's the biggest thing. Okay, look at this scenario as well. Is they got a lot of flack for Gears of War 5, if you guys remember, for the story mode. We were hearing the same things now that we were hearing back then. Where's the story? Yeah. Oh my goodness, Rod Ferguson, Mikey Paul. This is why Xbox can't be trusted. Something's wrong with the game. Something's wrong with the story. It's not complete. And there was all these same type of rumors going on. And it was over here. Oh, this is why you gotta have these other developers doing, you got to have Coalition do something else because they just keep on doing Gears and now they just being lackadaisical, blah, 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 blah. And then what happened? Right before, like what was it, like a week or so before the game was released, they showed that story mode. And then all the internet just went on fire because that trailer was it caught my wife's attention. Like, what is that? Like, I'm like, what? And everybody, even the most hated Xbox fan out there had to even say, it was all right. Because it was that hot, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it caught Sony's attention so much that they had to drop something about The Last of Us 2, and the game wasn't even ready yet. So, you know what I'm saying? Because the game didn't come out until the following year. So that, to me, I think that's another thing what Halo is doing, what 343 is doing, and I think that that's another strategy with this new Xbox marketing team, is like, look, you don't have to, because by the time, and I said this the same thing about Gears, by the time that you start showing all these clippets from now to December of the game, people are going to start trying to piece things together. There's going to be more assumptions. People are going to still try to dissect it, try to find a little tree that doesn't look right. They're going to try to make fun of everything about it. So the best thing for them to do is to hold on to it, make sure that it's right, and then drop it whenever that they're ready to drop it. And then I guarantee you the internet's going to blow up, because the internet, every time Halo is good or bad, has blown up when Halo is announced. Does anybody else want to interject with what Bad Mother was saying? Anybody on the panel?
Oh, yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, a lot of things that one Bad Mother was talking about is really, it just goes to show, if you have knowledge about the situation, it explains everything in a easy to understand manner if you know those details. But if you don't, you start to imagine, what things could be with a lack of information and facts to go off on, and you start assuming a lot of things. And when you start assuming, you start making other assumptions that's based on those other assumptions, and then you're way out in the corner, way from where the actual facts are. It's like one of the things he was saying before when I interjected, with it must be feature complete now. It's an actual beta now instead of an alpha where all the features aren't there. Now that all the features are implemented, but they're not going to add anything new. Now they're sitting there and working on it and making sure all those features work properly. They're not going to add anything extra. Whatever they have now, they're going to sit there and fine tune that until the game is released. And at this point, after everything they've been through, I think that's the best thing. Some of these things need to left till later. And Forge is the perfect example, because usually Forge isn't even there day one, right? Co-op is more debatable, but I remember the first time I played co-op in Halo, it was split screen, because that's all we had 20 years ago, right? Literally 20 years ago, right? That's all we had. I don't think we got online co-op, until Halo 3, right? And I don't even think it was there in Halo Reach day one.
Yeah,
and it wasn't in Halo.
It was only linked. What is it? Where you connected
System
all
link.
those Xbox,
System
link. Where you hooked up
System
all the
link,
Xboxes,
right?
Yeah, and then that's the only.
Then later on it came.
Yeah, later on it came. Yeah, right.
And then, and I don't know about 4 or 5, but already a couple of them.
Oh yeah,
didn't have that online.
4 had 2-player co-op, I believe.
Online.
Online. And
okay,
and
that's
couch,
cool.
And couch co-op, and 5 and 4-player co-op.
So that's 3. That's half the game then. So that's 3 out of 6.
So because I can't remember
when you play Halo 4, once you what was the other person playing as? I can't remember the multiplayer or the co-op.
It was 2 Chiefs.
So it's 2 Chiefs again.
Two.
Yeah, it was 2 Chiefs again.
No. This one is. I think it's going to be different. I think this is another reason why they. Now I have said this, and I'm gonna and I'm gonna be real about it. Like this was the biggest mistake about the co-op situation. I don't know who they listened to where they had to think that the split screen co-op was more important than the online co-op, because there's not. If we look at those percentages, and big shout out to Everborn, because he sat there and he laid out the percentage, and it was less than 7% that was on Halo 5, and it's less on Halo 4 for the co-op split screen, and the sitting in the couch split screen. I guarantee you that's maybe 1, 2, 3%. So
that's the last time I did anything couch co-op. To be honest,
bro, I don't even.
Well, I think it depends on which one is easier to implement and could be done within the short amount of time. And I don't know, because I'm not a developer. But I would think split screen would be easier than online co-op. Right?
I can agree with that.
If you had to pick one, that would be the easier one. But and also it depends on what the single players like too.
But the one thing I think that's more. That would be more acceptable if they had to leave one out for right now would be the couch co-op split screen. That to me is the one that they should have left out and bringing 3 months from now. Not that one. But you also make a great point about that. That's probably an easier job to fix. It's just that their priorities on that was. At the time when they did it, they were like, well, we can go ahead and get this co-op. We got enough time to do it. And then something happened to where they had to probably put their focus on something else that was probably more important, that maybe that was something that gamers would really be pissed about. So there's a lot of factors in it.
Yeah, and there's just one last aspect that I want to put into that. We really don't even know the true nature of the single player, because from what we've seen, and this is my opinion, that I think it's very Metroidvania-esque. Not that you have to unlock abilities and things to get to certain areas, but because I don't think the gameplay will be completely linear, right? It's on the ring. There's outposts of, you know, human outposts or banished outposts or this or that. We don't even know, right? Because we don't even know how it is. But all we know is that it takes place on the ring, and it's way larger than any Halo game has been in terms of environment. So a co-op situation that's online, it could devolve it. Well, not devolve into. I think the backstretch words using devolve, but it could be more akin to Destiny, where if you're level 18, I'm level 12. I don't think there'll be levels to this, right? But if you've already adapted your Master Chief to have certain abilities and you've adapted your armor, because apparently this is supposed to be features in the single player, right?
Right.
You can do things to your armor. So your Master Chief will be very different from my Master Chief. And what you've accomplished in your single player might be very different from my single player. So if you think about it like that, online co-op for Halo Infinite is probably a bigger thing to deal with in terms of developing than any other Halo we've seen ever before. Because at least with the other Halos, it's basically 2 players in the same instance and you're playing all together at the same time. The difference between the characters that each player is playing really doesn't change anything. So
yeah, Sick, I think you make a good point there, because that's the one thing, you know, we talked about this actually in our show a lot yesterday too, because I think there is some false equivalencies in terms of, like, again, comparing it to some of the other bungees. And this isn't making excuses. This is just kind of understanding the situation, you know, understanding kind of the deliverable. And the deliverable for 343 is not apples to apples to anything that came out from Halo before. This isn't just a game, it's a platform. Everything they do now, everything that's set for the foundation needs to be good to support additional content, you know, next year and the year after. We know this is going to go on for a while. They're going to be building content consistently for it. It's never going to be done in the next few years, because every time they release something, there's going to be something else deep in the development. So the key right now is to get the foundation right. And so when people go, like, you know, hey, it's delayed, it's like, yeah, I get it. They're obviously they're behind schedule. I bet you in a perfect world they would have loved to launch on November 15th with all the modes. And obviously that dream's dead, but you know, and I also empathize with people that say, you know, like, you know, we have friends that's the way they like to play it first. And I get it. You know, I have friends, you know, multiple of them that are either Forge or co-op guys. And so I understand, but at the same time, like, the thing I, you know, would ask any of my friends to, like, think about too, is that this isn't going to be the last campaign missions you're going to play in Halo.
Exactly.
Everything that comes out. Yeah. So everything that comes out here is like, this isn't the last chance you're ever going to play a co-op game. You might have new co-op content that you'll be able to play co-op day one next year. And what you want to make sure they do now is that they don't half-ass it so that it's always going to be kind of broken or not set up right. Because again, like,
you need that foundation to be there to build other things on top of.
Yeah, and like you were saying, like before, it was like you're going down the same narrow areas, and with the exception of with a few exceptions in some of the Bungie Halos where it was a little bit more wide, it's still nothing was as wide as it is now, right? So there's different considerations, especially from a technical standpoint, that they have to consider. It's not the same thing. Obviously, they are. One of the complaints about Halo 5 was it was too co-op focused. You know, a lot of people who played it single player said, hey, when I'm playing it by myself, this kind of sucks because the AI is not good enough to, and the way the game is set up, it's almost set up that you need to have, you know, a few people playing if you're on higher difficulties.
Yeah, because the AI was awful.
It was terrible.
Yeah. I love my Halo 5, but yeah, that co-op with the bots was just atrocious.
They just stare at you while you're dropping.
Like, bro, I'm getting lit.
Don't get down. They won't come get you.
Hey, I'm down. They like,
nah,
bro. We
they won't come get you.
It's a little too hot for me.
It's a little scary out there.
Yeah, there's some scary ass bots. Yeah, they were
343 didn't pay me enough for this shit.
Yeah, right. All right,
So,
but hold on.
Oh yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I wanted to, because I know because Bloody and D, they don't play the game, and Hollywood don't play the game like we do. But
I play the campaign. My graphics is.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of get at, because I know that the issue so much, I think, with the lack of some features are those. I mean, I know Bloody's got the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And D definitely does have the knowledge of older games that didn't come out with certain features at launch. So that's why I was trying to go to you guys and see, what you guys think about this whole scenario, because we didn't get a chance to talk about this all together. So what was your thoughts? I'll start off with you, Hollywood. What was your thoughts when you started hearing this dog pile about, Halo is in trouble and all of this stuff? What do you think?
Man, my thing is this, man. Like One Bad Mother said, perfect world, we would get the whole package. From Halo 1 to now, we used to get the co-op and all that. But me, now I'm basing this off me, how I play the game. I always play campaign by myself, because you get in parties or you playing with like me, I play with my brother with it when we did the first two. And he wanted to hit buttons all the time. Want to skip this, want to skip that, want to talk through the cuts. I want to enjoy it. I want to take it in. So I always play by myself first. With any game, especially with a story, Gears, whatever. First by myself. Then I go back through, and then, I get with my brother, back, we used to play Halo like that, or whoever online, whatever the case may be. So it ain't a deal breaker for me. Just as long as the campaign's ready to go, which they saying it's completed, they don't play through it multiple times, it's ready to go. Release the game. And for the people that's crying, a lot of people, we gotta admit, it's cool to shit on Xbox. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's cool. Anytime you can get on that hate train and get it rolling, as we see a lot of people jump on it, dog pile, whatever the case may be. But my main thing, don't delay it for the few people that do use the co-op day one, and the even fewer people that does the Forge, because I didn't even touch the Forge since its inception in Halo 3. I don't even think I even looked at it. So, the hold it back for those few people that's complaining, I say ignore them, keep doing what you're doing. And like you said, KMEGA with Gears 5, people complain they didn't see the campaign. But the minute that trailer dropped with that I can't think of that music right now, but they had the right music.
Oh yeah,
everything was put together.
Metallica, I think.
No.
Listen to rock and roll.
I'm a fan of the band too, and I have the music.
Wife called it out.
That's something with a B.
Attention. Yeah, I don't know.
Breaking Brad, something like that. I gotta look it up.
Yeah, let us know in the chat.
I can't remember.
I don't know. That shit was rocking. That's all.
Breaking Benjamin. That's what it was. Breaking Benjamin.
It was like, it was slapping. I was like, I said,
that was the one time they did that. Yeah, it's the same thing they did with Prince of Persia too. They tried to, hype it up with some, fresh, different type of music, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people didn't like it, and that was the one time they did that and that franchise too. Yeah, but Halo 2 really did that well, and I really wish they would bring that back. That's a good point to bring up.
That is.
But I tell you what, I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. People, 343 Halo 5, hit and miss. I think the main thing with Halo 5, what hurt it was the marketing, because I just knew it was going to be an epic showdown between Locke and Chief. But at the end of the day, I think the campaign was pretty good. Was it the best? No, I still think between Halo 2 and 3 was my favorite two Halos out of all of them. But I'm just going to wait and see. And Halo hasn't disappointed thus far. Even
Nine Inch Nails. 9 Inch Nails is the name of the group.
9 Inch Nails is in Halo 2?
9 Inch Nails?
No, that was
what was it? Hole in the Head, something like that, right?
The song for Gears 5 for the trailer.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's right. My wife turned around. She looked just like 9 Inch Nails.
And Halo 2 was Breaking Benjamin. My bad.
Yeah.
I know all about 9.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah, like I said, I'm not worried, man. Now if the game, by all means, if the game comes out, the campaign is flawed, glitchy. I hate to throw Cyberpunk in here, but if it comes out like how Cyberpunk launched, then you can have a reason to complain and cry.
right.
But me personally, man, like I said, I know it's a few people that jump into co-op straight off bat. I feel for y'all, but like I said before, and I'm gonna say it again: if the game ain't to what you like, don't buy it. Everybody say vote with your wallets. We all know the people in the community that say that. Don't buy it. Don't download it. Don't play it until the game is ready. So if you need the co-op, then what is it? 3 months later, then go get it. Then go buy it. Then go Game Pass it. And if you're a Forge guy, girl, wait 6 months. Whenever it's ready, then go get it. But people crying and all that and haven't seen it, played it, touched it, I paid them zero attention, zero. And I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I'm just ready for the game. I'm ready. As soon as we get off this, I'm going to go download that dynamic theme, and I might jump on the Master Chief Collection. So I don't even know, but I pay them zero attention. They don't affect the way I play. We all play different. But if you really want to be upset and people complain about not getting the move that's been given, where is everybody crying about The Last of Us 2? The Last of Us 1 had that multiplayer day one, and I don't want to hear this shit. People talking about something. Well, we don't play The Last of Us no. The multiplayer was there, whether you played it, but it was people that played it. It's plenty of people that stream playing it. What about them? But it's quiet. It's crickets, and that's why zero attention, zero fucks given. Give me the game, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Nice, great point. What about you, Bloody?
I don't mean to cuss. I'm sorry.
No, you good. You good.
Yeah,
you're good. No problem. What about you, Bloody? Like, I mean, is this a deal breaker for you? And I know not so much for Halo, but just for any other game that you play. Let's say, like, for you're excited for Tales of Arise, right? And let's just say that they were going to have this online co-op feature. And then, is that, and then say, but they're going to bring it a couple of months later. Is it going to deter you from not getting the game day one? Would you wait 3 months, or, things like what, like, I'm just trying to get an understanding from gamers. Like, is it that detrimental as how some people have been trying to present this to Halo fans?
Okay, so honestly, it's not a big deal. It really isn't. And that's because a lot of games, especially within the past, I would say even in the past 5 years, right? Not even just because of those being affected with the pandemic going on, just games in general within the past 5 years have come out with smaller, with not all their features out or not all these modes out, and they add them over time. The thing is, it's not that they weren't trying to do it. It's that you got to think that the better part of their development cycle, more than half of it alone was creating the engine. And I think that's what a lot of people fail to understand. They're like, oh, they got $500 million and they were in development for, the past 5-6 years. Yeah, but at least 3 to maybe 4 of that was developing what their engine that we saw back in 2018. I was like, we barely saw what they were putting together back then. And then they really started working on everything within the past couple of years. I was like, yes, in a perfect world, we would have everything. But even in past games, Forge didn't always come out with the game at launch. I was like, I think the only game that it launched with at launch was Halo 3. And then Reach, it came out well after the game launched, and I believe that was after Bungie stopped working on it and 343 took over at that time. I was like, Halo 4 didn't launch with Forge. I was like, they launched that later. Yeah, I think that 4 still had the split screen co-op or whatever, but the fact is that didn't have Forge at that. Forge has always, for the past couple games, has been an additional mode that came after, which is fair. And I think that people fail to understand the scope of what Forge is going to do in this game. You're going to have an entire ring, realistically, more environments than previously to really build upon. You're going to have a lot more models and a lot more items and a lot more ways to maneuver. back in the previous Forges, guess what? You just had all the walls to make these crazy whatever you wanted to build, but you were still limited to the movement of the character. Yes, you had the jump and the sprint, but that's nowhere near the verticality and movement that you're going to see alone with the grappling hook that they're introducing in Infinite, and how much bigger they're making it because of how it's going to be as an open world. There's games like, look at a lot of the games from Ubisoft, whether they're good or bad. The fact is, a lot of those games don't have a lot of the modes that are introduced and supported years on. Look at how Rainbow Six Siege came out. It just was only an arena shooter. And then after a couple months to a year, that's when they really started introducing the classic terrorist hunt mode. And then they started introducing new modes within the multiplayer for the competitive scene. And then they started adding different things overall. And then you saw it same with For Honor. For Honor, while it was a fun game, launched with very basic online capabilities. Yeah, it had the online campaign, it had the campaign overall, and it had the multiplayer. But the multiplayer had very select modes, and it depended on if you were doing the full 4v4 or the 1v1. And after, I think it was 2 months, they introduced the 2v2s because they were working on it because it wasn't ready, even though it was in the beta. And then now they introduced like a 3v3 mode, and I think that they've added more modes for the 4v4, and then same for the 2v2s. They keep adding things over time that weren't originally there, or if they were, they didn't fit the scope and they had to refix it. A lot of games have been doing that now. And I think that people have this belief that if it's not included at launch, it's not worth it. No, most recently look at Call of Duty, right? Look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the reboot. Warzone wasn't in Call of Duty at launch. Warzone came out, I think it was a month after, and it was its own thing. The co-op campaign, if they're doing it as its own thing, that's going to be like a side story. That's no different than what they did with the Spartan Ops or the Spartan stories that were in 4. How they were its own separate storyline that you could do in like co-op that ran parallel to the main game. That may be something that they're trying to do. Forge is a monster in itself that's going to be its own thing that probably needs a lot more time and a lot more focus.
And this is going to be like ridiculously more advanced than
exactly.
Yeah,
and you also got to and the thing that people aren't understanding is that, like you said, it's more advanced, but it's also the first Forge that's being done in an entirely new engine. So it's going to take a lot more to make sure that it's going to be able to properly handle the things that people are doing. You're talking about an engine that is now able to run an entire game that's going to be open world. So you see that there's probably going to be a lot more in-depth stuff that people are going to be able to do, and they need to absolutely push that. In the previous Forge modes, you had one map originally, and then they expanded it to where it was one large map, but you can do anything within that map area on the ground and well above in the skybox area above it, right? Well, this is going to take that times 20. It has so much more, so they have to absolutely put a lot more work into that, not including the fact of every little item, that making sure that the physics work within that space, within that engine, with what they're trying to do with Forge, as well as all the models. Yes, it's easy whenever you're doing it, and I say easy in the aspect of in the main campaign and everything. Everything's going to have preset locations for the most part. Yes, they'll probably have aspects where it could be dynamic and you'll see enemies moving around, but it's different with Forge because of the fact that it's not preset. They're not going to be in a designated area. It's not going to be items already there. No, it's going to be all completely made by the community. That takes so much more work to ensure that that's going to be able to properly handle all that. And that's what people need to accept and understand. It is not going to be the way that they think it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, why people aren't trying to give credit for the creativity that Halo is bringing? Like, I mean, we get told all the time about like God of War's revamp, and there's going to be or like Ratchet and Clank's revamp and other things, and then just other games from other companies, right? Like they're revamping Halo. This isn't like any other Halo that I've ever played. So I don't see why people aren't more patient I mean, I understand it's Xbox, and there's people that just automatically going to just dogpile on it because that's just the hot thing to do for clout. But I'm not understanding. Like, listen, like, I mean, you should think you would have people like, man, take your time, do whatever you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't. There's no multiplayer in Horizon Forbidden West, and they're delaying it again. So
Well,
I'm
look,
not.
remember that too.
Yeah, like,
Not to cut you
Yeah.
off.
you know,
And you meant, and I think it was One Bad Mother or whoever mentioned it, is that they brought up they brought up the multiplayer for Last of Us 2. The thing is, the developer, or whoever said it, is that if you look at Halo, right? They said that they were going to try and get everything in there to make it as a complete package as it was, but they've been very open about things changing. Naughty Dog said, what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, before Last of Us 2 came out, that multiplayer was going to be in that game at launch. Yep. And yet it was before the launch. They said, "Oh yeah, multiplayer is not going to be included. We're going to make it its own separate thing." And then after that,
and told them they were going to charge them for it.
Yep. And then not only that, they haven't said anything since. There's been no mention about the multiplayer, and only just now, a year after the game comes out, do we see that there's hiring for a multiplayer project.
So they're not even getting started on it. They're not even, they might get into the infancy stage of it, but of where they want to go with it. Because me and Bot has a bet, like, because I'm saying, like, there's no way, and I could lose this bet easily, but I'm like, there's no way Sony's going to come out and say, all right, you paid this money for The Last of Us 2 without its multiplayer, and you're going to pay another, because at this point it's going to be $70. And I said, there's no way. I said they're going to have to do a free to play type of deal, like, you know, and gouge people that way. Because I said I can't see the PlayStation community accepting to get just an online only game that was on the original game and only paid for one price. So they got.
I want to get in on this bet. I think I want to get in on this bet because here's the funny thing about it. We've seen it countless times before. Like they will dig their own grave unknowingly, I know. But it's so it's like knowing you're a black man in a horror movie and not knowing to just get out. Like
right.
Really?
Yeah, your ass is in trouble. And hold on, I don't know anything about this, but I will give. Let me ask this question to you guys. If you heard about it, Callie Rex asked, do you mind giving your thoughts about the Transformers Online being canceled? Do anybody knew about that? I didn't know anything.
I heard nothing about that. No.
Anybody else? Oh yeah, no.
I didn't know that there was a game coming. I know it was still online. I had no idea.
What did Callie Rex
Callie Rex said
Transformers game.
Yeah, he said to give her thoughts on the canceled Transformers Online. And Callie, I did want to talk about
Transformers. I remember.
I know what he's talking about, but I didn't see much on it because it kind of slid under. And Iron Mike said that they started on Factions too because it's part of the leaked footage of The Last of Us 2 last year. Well, they may have started on it, but the fact is that, like I said, they just recently have hired postings for multiplayer engineers. So they may have had like a concept for it. So it may have been included,
like I'm saying,
but doesn't mean that it was what they were wanting and that they didn't completely pull it out to redo it. The fact is that you can have a concept for something, doesn't mean that it's going to go with the final product. And with the leaked footage, some of that was from earlier builds, but that was focused more on the campaign stuff. That was what started the whole big discussion and I can't believe they're actually going to be doing with this with The Last of Us 2. That's where that all came from.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and read this super chat. Let me get this super chat up from Sir X Man. My bad. I was missing it. I was
No, you're good.
Yeah. Let me get this super chat.
Then afterwards, we really should move on because we've been talking about Halo for a long time.
I know. I was gonna go to D and see, but I don't think D wants to go, and she wants to get into the other stuff because I know she wants to talk about Saints Row. But anyway, let me.
You already called on me.
I know, but I know. But Sir X-Man says the show is called The Elder Gamers, and you're old enough, KMEGA. It's for gamers 45 and older. We talk about stuff from back in the days to now. Listen, Listen. I don't know what you're talking about. I just leveled up to 22. I don't know what you're talking
Well,
about. No, yeah,
well,
no. If you
listen,
listen to the
man,
beginning of
I'm
the show,
about
you would
to
have known.
level to 42, but
Yeah.
I'm very knowledgeable about the older
Oh, yeah,
games,
yeah,
man.
no,
You gotta
that's
get
it.
me on that, man.
Yeah,
We talking
yeah,
about something
yeah.
that's
So much
old school
fun.
like that, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, go ahead and I'll definitely come on there. Y'all ask me to come on there and talk about some old games if I got the time on a Sunday like that. Yeah, I'm with it. Okay, all right. So, One Bad Mother, do you are you going to stick around, or you want to say one more thing about the Halo situation and then bounce, or what's going on?
I'll stick around. I won't be rude. I don't have much
I
to
was
say
like,
about
damn,
Saints Row, but-
yeah. Bob was like, I gotta talk about it, but like, I'm like, you talk this shit on Crossfire. Anyway, because they don't let you talk. That's what's going on over there. Anyway, shout out to them though. But yeah, all right, so let's talk about Gamescom. And so I was gonna go through this whole like every game we're gonna talk about because we pressed on some time. So I want to sit here and so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna name a game, and if anybody wants to talk about it, please do. So I'm gonna start up here. And we're gonna go here, and there might be some because I'm going through this list. They said here all announced games and trailers. So I guarantee there's going to be a game that's going to be missed because they never. I don't know why.
Talk about the Calipote that they showed.
The what? Oh, the catapult.
The Calipote.
You country as hell, the catapult.
I had to do it.
I
I'm
know.
sorry.
Hey man, listen. Okay, all right. I will say this. I like inside Xbox stuff because I do like the interviews with stuff like that. But yeah, it was very lackluster. But that's fine with me. I'm always going to come away in that.
You mean the one with Paris and what's her face?
Yeah. I always come away. I gave it a C plus. I gave it a C plus. I didn't hate it because there's always going to be games that I like. Every show that I see, there's always going to be games that they're going to show that I like. And I understand that people want. I think people get too excited about the thought when they hear Gamescom that they're going to get that 2015 Gamescom. You're not. That you know what I'm saying? The internet roasted that to death because when they did have that E3, that maybe E3-esque type of show, it turned into a to a storm because everybody was so upset about the potential of Rise of the Tomb Raider being an exclusive on Xbox. That everything else that was shown, because that was a really good show. Sony was there, Nintendo was there, everybody was there. But that just changed everything. And then that just, and I'm pretty sure that Microsoft was like, man, we just wasted money on trying to promote some big stuff to get some attention, and it just got turned around on us. So forget it. We'll just wait till E3 or just do our own thing. So I thought the show was decent. But if you want to talk about the show, you can, but I want to go through this game. All right, so first game. And just let me know if you want to talk about this. But I already know that she wants to talk about this game because this is the first game they're showing. Saints Row. So, D, what did you want to talk about? What was your thoughts about the Saints Row trailer? Was you hyped about it? Are you ready day one buy?
So the latter question, no. I'm not pre-buying anything.
Okay.
No, but I am happy to see them discuss that it is a reboot, a back to root situation. I'm ambivalent about it, but I'm trying to be optimistic, like I was saying in the pre-show, because I've played all the Saints Rows in order. And 2 is by far my my favorite one. I've put the most time into it. I've played with a lot of people. Having that co-op drop in, drop out was really fun at the time. I want to say it's one of the first games I played on Xbox Live in like 2010. I liked it, and it's kind of to me, it's just the best of what they had to showcase. 3. Wasn't a huge fan, but I finished it. They took some things as far as like decision making and the side quest making the main quest. It was just really weird, but I was cool with it. 4 just went completely off the rails, and I haven't finished it, and I refuse to finish it. So I'm hoping this one goes back to how it used to be. I know some people are pissed about it, saying it's not the Saints Row. It doesn't have the original characters, it's all new, but I mean, It's kind of what a reboot is a little bit. It's not a remaster, it's not a remake. It is a reboot of the franchise. And, Saints Row has been around for a while. It's been, 15 years now ish. Because I want to say the first one came out 06 ish, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Like 360,
so,
early 360.
Yeah. So it's been around for a minute, and you got to get an audience into it. If the game series came out in 06 and, that was a kid in kindergarten, they're in their 20s now. They're adults. You got to kind of refresh it and revamp it. So I'm hoping it lives up to expectations. I'm hearing it has all the customization, it has all the wackiness, the fun of 2. So I'm hoping for the best, because that whole prototype flying around alien president shit gotta go. I'm sorry.
That was too much.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Even though I'm everybody that knows me knows I love Grand Theft. Grand Theft is my shit. I still love Saints Row. I refer to Saints Row 2 as San Andreas on crack. Because if you think about it, it kind of is San Andreas on crack. So even though people are like, oh, it's a GTA clone, I still think Saints Row had its own foothold. Even with the second entry, the gang customizations, because there were things you could do in that game that you couldn't do in Grand Theft. You couldn't customize the look of, your gang members. You could buy all that property, but you couldn't update the property. When you think about it, it may sound really weird when you think about it, but Saints Row 2 came out 4 years after San Andreas. That's not that long.
No.
That was, Grand Theft 5 came out 8 years ago. That's double the time. So I don't know. We'll see. I do need to see some more gameplay about it. This fall and this February about to have me broke, but that's all right. Worst case scenario, I'll try to get it with, Microsoft rewards, but Cyberpunk kind of burned me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. And I feel like a lot of devs are taking notice, and nobody wants that to happen to their games. So I'm seeing a lot of transparency and expectations being set differently. I don't know. That could be me. But every game that I've seen since December 10th last year, a lot of devs are like, look, this is what's going to be in it. This was not going to be in it. We'll have more information on the, I feel like everybody's just like, I don't want my shit getting from the store because that's losing money. So let's be transparent and, go from there. So I'm being optimistic, but I'm also ambivalent. It can go either way. Worst case scenario, I can still play Saints Row 2 to this day. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm hopeful.
Okay, all right. Does anybody else want to piggyback off of Saints Row? I know.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, Slayer, I knew that you wanted to say something because you was pretty adamant about stuff in the chat.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to bring up that one just yet, but I do want to address some of the things that Dee was saying. And I've noticed, and this is just my perception of it, amongst the people who like the Saints Row games at all, right? It's much like Halo, I feel, where there's a group who likes the first couple, there's a group who likes the second couple, although that second group may or may not really have a lot of love for 4. A lot of them, including myself, would say 4 went, a little off the rails, even for the wackiness that they try to portray in that one. They went way too far in 4, with the aliens and all that. Eventually get to a point where you don't need to drive at all, and it's supposed to be a Grand Theft Auto-esque game. And I was the one who was saying, it's a Grand Theft Auto wannabe, but at least buy the second one, because the first one was clearly rushed, right? But the second one, they really did what they must have hoped and planned that they wanted to do for the first one, but never could. And they did with the second one. So I get that, but I really fell in love with the third one. The third one, in my mind, was when Saints Row really found its own identity as a franchise. But 4 went, as I said, way out there. So they messed that up in my mind too. I understand where people come with that, from with that. But I still feel in the end that Saints Row 2 and 1 were wannabe Grand Theft Autos in that. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way mostly. There's a little bit of that, but mainly in that they were trying to be a game just like Grand Theft Auto, like the alternate, like we had the true crime games that were trying to be like Grand Theft Auto, but their own style. And that didn't really work out. But in the end, we got Sleeping Dogs out of it. That was like, the spiritual successor. And Saints Row was on that lane, but the third one I really think got to it got to a new level that I really liked, but some didn't. But now they're doing a reboot. And so a lot of people are complaining about what they see with the characters and all that. But to me, I see the same 4 characters that I was familiar with 3. You got that one chick, you got the player character. I'll touch on that in a second. You have an Asian dude who was Johnny Gat in the older games. I don't know who this guy is now. And then they have the other black guy who is the main character's like close confidant or like his number 2, right? Mm-hmm. I can't remember the names of any of these characters to tell you, but if you played, you know Pierce. So I see that other black kid with the glasses, like this is the new Pierce. And the other kid was Shondi, right? The girl was Shondi, right?
I feel like that. What if they're their kids?
But they're kids or whatever. Who knows? This could be. But they claim this is a reboot. But sometimes reboots are just sequels in another name, right? Like Halo Infinite is a spiritual successor, but also sequel/reboot. They're redoing a lot of the concepts while still being a continuation. So maybe this is that too. Who knows? But I just feel a lot of those complaints of what I've seen out there are really have no basis in any kind of real logic. I'll say that. But yet and still, I have an issue. It's the same issue I had back with Mass Effect 3 with the drama that surrounded Mass Effect 3. So if you remember back with Mass Effect 3, there was a lot of the FemShep players were very vocal. And Pong Sol was one of them who was very vocal, right? He's an ardent FemShep player in that he plays Commander Shepard as a female character, right? And then the game series always gave you that choice. But what the complaints amongst the community was, but they always show the male version, the default male in all the cutscenes and on the artwork and everything, right? So they put a vote as to what people should make or what the populace thought the default female should look like, and they voted on that. And they had a reversible cover, right? You had the default male and default female, right? But number 1, they showed the default female everywhere and never the male ever again in Mass Effect. It was usually the female. Even with Andromeda, it wasn't to that degree, but most of the time you saw the female character, right? But at the same time, when you look at all the tropes out, or one little piece of commentary and shade I want to put out against the gamers out there was all the typical check boxes of what you might think, that people like that might want to see in a girl with the red hair and all these things. And I feel like that wasn't really conducive to anything positive. And yet and still, so my issue with Saints Row, once again, just like with Mass Effect, where you create your own character, male or female, how they dress, and even at least in the middle of Saints 3, I know you could switch up the sex of your character if you wanted to, and all those aspects. You always had the option to go back and change your character from male to female and what they dress like and everything. But yet and still, I feel like this is really just patronizing to people that you see in the cutscene. What seems to be the main character, the player character, is a female, when afterwards in the interview with the developers, that yet you still have the option, just like the franchise has always had. You could pick and design your player character, male, female, whatever they wear, voice, all of that will be there. But yet and still, you see in the first ad they show you the female. A lot of people like, what's this about? In conjunction with the characters too. And I feel that's a disservice to everyone and a disservice to what they claim they're trying to do, because it seems to me it's just all fake. It's just all fake to me, and I don't really like that.
I don't know. I can't co-sign that.
I don't think so at all. Yeah,
I'm
kind of, but like I said, I know it's a controversial thing, and a lot of people are not going to agree with me. I understand that. Yeah. It just comes off. There's something about it. I can't put my finger on it, but it seems fake and soulless, like they're trying to patronize to me, and I don't like it. But in the end, you can pick your own character, male, female, all of that. But so
no. Okay, I got what you're saying on that, but I gotta sit there and I gotta push back a little bit by just saying on this end. I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's that we have been talking about we need inclusion into gaming, and so I think and I understand what you're saying to a certain point of saying like, now everybody that we've seen in a lot of these trailers, there's a lot of women. It was a lot of women of color. It goes back to what we've seen at E3, like with Redfall and all that, right? But I think what they're trying to do is say, look, it's got to start somewhere, and
right,
and so again, I think that what gaming is trying to do is say, look, we are trying to be more inclusive because now we're hearing from a lot of gamers out here like, look, I want to see somebody looks like me on that screen. I want to see I want to see some representation of this and that. And I think that's just what we're going to see. I think we're going to see a lot of trailers like that for the next at least year or so until it starts changing. And once we start having that opportunity where we start seeing those,
and it feels more natural.
Yeah,
I guess
more natural and more like video game community where we have a little bit of everybody, where it's just not always a black woman or or a white woman or just whatever. I think once we get to that point to where people stop questioning it, that's when I think that they'll go back to doing what they're supposed to do by making it more of a melting pot. But that's why.
And the other thing I want to say against
what they're trying to say that we're trying to make that change, and we're listening to the people that's been saying it. Yeah.
Right. No, I get that too. But there's another thing that I hear the community is saying that's really ignorant because you're not paying attention at all. That it's forced inclusion with the other characters.
Oh yeah, no.
What?
Those
are the same four characters from the whole series.
I was watching the trailer. I was watching the comments in game trailer. That's where I was watching Gamescom from, and it was awful. It was disgusting.
I saw a lot of those comments too. Yeah, that makes no sense to me. That's not what I'm talking about at all.
Call of Duty Vanguard's comments, like. I cut it off. At that point, I cut it off and I switched to IGN. I said, I can't read this. I said, this is gross. So, what I'm saying? It's a long way to go in that sense to where people will just accept the trailer for whatever it is. But it's also, listen, I don't know. I think you're going a little too deep into it personally. But I might be.
But I just feel something's off about it.
Yeah, but no. Because if you looked for the last 40 years, we ain't seen this much inclusion. But I think overall, it's that just the industry is trying to show something, trying to show good faith, and just like with anything else, we got to see if they're going to continue with that by not making every character black and a woman, but every character to look like what gamers are, and that's everybody. I want everybody.
Exactly. I want to see a whole mix. Right. Yeah. I'd rather see that than just.
So,
I want to see.
It's interesting. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's interesting to have that perspective because when I saw the trailer, none of that
hit you.
Never hit me. The reason is
it didn't even hit me immediately. That was afterwards.
Well, the reason I say that is because my character, through obviously my Saints Row 2 character is my most robust because I've been playing with it so long. That's how my character looks. So I felt continuity when I saw the trailer. I didn't think that's not what, that it didn't even occur to me because I thought that's just who the character was. So when they were like, oh, you get to customize, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Because that is what my character has always looked like. Not saying oh, that's not going to be the default. The default is there, but everybody else can make their character look however. There's no specific name. It's still boss. And one thing that I'm seeing specifically with Black women is the diversity, specifically of Black women. And I don't mean just having them there, I'm seeing different sizes of black women. I'm seeing different hair. They're actually
I was just gonna say
attempting
that
to get
hair,
the
boy.
hair.
Boy, them
Hairstyles. Because me and
developers have
KMEGA
been
debated
rough.
about this last
Boy,
year. Yes.
developers have been hell on
The
black folks'
hair is
hair.
there is actually an attempt for the hair to look a certain way.
Yeah.
So and a lot of times with games, and I'm not gonna lie, not to put shade on Ubisoft, but I just booted up Riders Republic, and the features were not features that would be present on a black woman. The skin was just darker. So I appreciate studios that actually take the time to have that customization, have actual features that look like they'd be a black woman. Like, don't take like a white avatar and then just darken the skin and be like, here you go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Japanese
and
developers
put
got to get their game, got to step their game up because
there
they
and then
did.
be like, good. So I kind of see what Sick is saying because it took me a minute, no shade, to figure out what you was trying to say. I was like, what's the
No, it
problem?
was a more complicated. It wasn't the base level thing. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but then when I realized it, I'm like, at the end of the day, a lot of games, it's not hard to be a white dude, period. It's very few and far between, unless it's Madden with the 46 faces. It's very hard to like find a game where it's like be a default white dude. So a lot of my games, I try to, like, Mega said, have that representation. So for me, the trailer was cool. I'll probably go default with the actress that they're kind of portraying, which is cool to have to put a face to it. But I just hope that they actually make the attempt, because even the third game, not to go to like, rated R or whatever, I was playing the third game with the customization. I was like, I know these people aren't like me because y'all put the sex appeal on the top and nothing on the bottom. I already know the vibes. Like, if you play Saints Row, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I was just like, okay, so I'm a capital letter P. That's what we're gonna
Lord
do. Like,
have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Keep it real, dog. I was just like, okay, I know who made this game because she ain't got no ass. I'm walking around with flapjacks out here, but okay.
I knew
she looked like a capital P instead of a goddamn.
I wasn't gonna say that. I already knew I was saying something, tough enough stuff to hear.
Hey, boy, bad mother, I gotta tell Don. This is gonna be a topic. Me and Don have this discussion. I say, bro, I know you working on, because his characters are of people of color and a white guy, things like that. But yeah, and he showed the model of the black lady, and she looks great, right? Like right skin color, all of that. The hair, I was like, Don, we're gonna have to work with you with that hair. But yeah, now I gotta talk about. I gotta get one with them.
You know what I'm saying? Like you need, I
gotta get yum. I say, please man, you gotta have some cakes, man. I know she might be doing this and that, but yeah, we gotta have to work on them cakes. Make sure that. Hey, D demanded it. You gotta put them yams on them.
I'm being realistic. I'm just being realistic.
Have y'all played the Alien Fire Team game and Major Character?
Hey, what?
Man.
And who?
The Aliens, the new Alien game, Fire Team.
Oh yeah.
And the black selection, man, it's terrible, man. My dude.
That man said it's diabetes.
Listen.
We go into a whole other level.
Oh hell no!
All right, we gotta back up. All right, so let me read this from Game Genie Prime, because I also agree with this 100%. He says, in my opinion, I don't see enough Asian, Latin, Indian, Native American characters, and I mean that's not all one race. You're saying Asian, Latin, Indian, Native American characters in almost anything, and I love to see that also, right? Because I'm African American and I'm Native American, so I definitely. That's why the first Prey was really important. I was like, oh, okay, all right, I could dig this. And then when they changed the other character in Prey, I was like, why you couldn't keep it a Native American guy? Like, I mean, and then bring that history, those roots, because that was, the spiritual essence and all that, what was going on in there. Like, I loved it. And things happen. But
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
no, I definitely agree.
if you think about
We
it,
need more
I
of
was
it.
like in the Prey remake, they made the main character Asian.
Right. Yeah, they made him
Yeah,
Asian, but I
yeah.
would have preferred him if he stayed Native American. But
No,
but
I
they,
get
yeah,
that, but I mean,
yeah,
they were trying to switch it up. Like, there's
yeah.
works on it. Let's say, I mean, look at what they did with Assassin's Creed 3. They gave us an entire protagonist that it very much encompassed and talked about the history of the Blackfoot tribe during the American Revolution.
Right. And then also, I mean, look, it's just like what D said. There's so many games coming out, but I'm looking at the representation of Far Cry 6, like, God, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I got enough cash for all this. I just don't know. So, I mean, I'm saying, but I'm going to support that game. I don't know if it's going to be day one, if it's going to be somewhere down the line, but I want more and more of that stuff. People who's been listening to me for years, you know how I feel about it. It's not about something to say, well, we gotta take away white people away from. No, you know I'm not like that. So what I'm saying is that there just need to be more inclusion. I want more people to be represented in gaming because it's not just a certain group. And in the world, in gaming, it's big enough now to make that happen. So, but anyway, all right. So that was Saints Row. Slayer went into a deep ass hole. And I'm glad, and then D sit there and put us in another hole, and I was like, okay, we gotta get the hell out of here. So we out of that hole. So let's get to another. let's start reading some more games. All right, no, you fine. That was funny because she's like, oh, no,
Ain't sorry for nothing.
We gotta look. They gotta think about that back in. All right, so all right, we'll keep it going. I'm gonna read these games. Marvel's Midnight Suns. Anybody interested in that?
Yes. I was like, because this is what I'm gonna be talking on real quick because I gotta get ready to dip.
All right,
but
cool.
Midnight Suns absolutely looks great. I was like, I'm interested in it because
the show's only going to last another 30 minutes. I'm not gonna. We ain't gonna. I'm gonna try to stop doing 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, I was like, what I like the most about it is the fact that I was like, the character models definitely look like kind of what they did with the Marvel's Avengers, but a little bit cleaned up. But I do like the fact that this is focusing on the mystical side of Marvel games that we don't ever really touch on or really encompass more the supernatural because we see that Doctor Strange is there. We saw Blade was there. Of course, we saw some of X-Force. We saw Wolverine and the usual suspects. But we getting to see more of that mystical side. And now that they're creating a brand new superhero for the game, and the fact that it's supposed to be more of a tactical style game coming from the team at Firaxis who made XCOM, I'm really interested to see the gameplay reveal on the first. That one looks so cool, and I think everyone's just happy to see Blade in another project because Blade is absolutely that dude, and he hasn't been in a game since Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, and I think realistically he hasn't been in since 2. Because I don't know if he was in 3.
I don't think he was in 3. No, I don't think he was in 3.
Yeah, I think he was only in 1 and 2. But yeah, I'm excited for that. XCOM meets Marvel. I mean, we saw that it worked for Gears with their Gears tactic with that XCOM style. So I want to see how they do it with this.
Which, by the way, is a very, very underrated game. By the way,
it really is.
It's a really good game.
Look, all I want is that they take the one thing I want them to take away from that game for Gear 6 is I want that customization weapon mod system. I'll be happy. I was like, that was dope. Let us customize those weapons like they did in there. Yeah, and Ghost Rider, and specifically, I'm excited for the Ghost Rider that they have because they're using Robbie, who was
that's not the original Ghost Rider.
It's not. It's not Johnny Blaze. No, it's Robbie, and I liked him. Yeah, he's the one who's got the what was it? I think it was an Impala. It was an Impala.
Oh, that's who that is. So it's a different person entirely. Okay.
Yeah, it's different. It's one of the other incarnations of Ghost Rider. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so,
you can tell because he had that yellow jacket instead of the traditional open black leather. He had that more racer red and yellow jacket on. I was like, that's how you knew that it was Robbie.
Right, and then also his his look was was different too. Like he had a different skull. It wasn't like the original like looking skull. The one thing that I do like about that myself personally is that it's going to the darker realm of Marvel. If anybody was familiar back in the 90s, one of my favorite reads was the Inferno series. If anybody can remember that, where it was a powerful demon came out and was raising hell on the Avengers. It was raised hell on all of Marvel's superheroes, and so I don't know too much about this woman. I forget what her name is, but obviously, she must have some kind of ties with what was going on in the Inferno series. But yeah, she looked dope. Again, they showed another, female protagonist, but they also said that you can create your character because you will be the son or daughter of the main villain. So it's cool, and it had that '90s vibe to it with the outfits. I love that gold. You know what I'm saying? That gold look, what they did when you can evolve and all stuff. So I am stoked about that. I know there was some people that was already upset because there was like, it's kind of an RTS type of style. Tactical. Yeah.
Yeah, and if people haven't played, if you've never played these types of games or never been for you, I think this might be one of those places to start. Fire Axis, last generation, I don't think I had been into like turn-based games for, I don't know, like 2 decades really. And then for some reason I picked up an XCOM 2 on a sale, and it sat in my backlog forever. And I kept hearing people talk about the War of the Chosen DLC that came out. So finally I got that. That ended up being in my top 3 games of last generation. Like that, if you allow yourself to learn those games, if you like any sort of strategy, because the thing that those games do really good is like you start to get attached to these characters because they have different abilities, and you get used to like trying to use certain ones are best in these different situations, and it's a different way of connecting with your characters than a lot of other games. So I really do think like if you are a fan of Marvel, and you haven't been a fan of turn-based games, this is probably the one to give a shot to, because I think people will be surprised. I know for myself, like when I'm playing those games, like XCOM has like permadeath. That's always a bad feeling when you lose somebody you really, really like on the screen. I lost my favorite character. I lost in the last battle. I was like, should I reboot it? I was like, no, it'd be cheating. So it's like, but it adds more impact too. I doubt
makes you pay attention.
Yeah, so definitely, this was probably out of anything new that came out of this Gamescom was probably my highlight. Not as much for the Marvel, but just because of the developer. I think what they did is they're like the XCOM 2 or the Chosen, because I played others since it, and Gears Tactics was really good, but I still think XCOM is the bar that everybody else has to get, and this is the same developer with more time. And hopefully, the licensing thing doesn't really interfere with their, with what they want to do.
No, they said that it didn't, because you can see that like they didn't have to make them look somewhat like Tony Stark or anything. They could go their own direction, and they said Marvel gave them the green light to do what they want to do because they're such big fans of XCOM. So that's a plus. All right, what about Cult of Lamb? Anybody? All right.
Okay.
Midnight. Listen to that. Midnight Fight Express. Now,
hold on. Cult of Lamb was a top-down action adventure game. That looked pretty cool. Nice animation and stuff. I did like that, but arcade style game.
Yeah.
It's just a little indie.
This is from the
real they put together.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yes. There's some cool games in that, and I don't remember the names of them all.
Well, Midnight Fight Express was the one that
so many of them. I got to look at it.
Midnight Fight Express was one of them that I really liked. It was where it was the little the beat 'em up. Was the top down beat 'em up where you was beating up people and you was wearing like fur outfit, Furby suits and stuff. Really wild little game. It was crazy, but that was dope to me. Okay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Shredder's Revenge.
Is that the Shredder's Revenge?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want that, man.
Oh yeah.
I wish they'd bring back Turtles in time, man. I hook my 360 up just to play that.
Oh man, I agree too. But but the thing about this game that I really like is this is the first time we've really seen a lot of gameplay, because the clips we've had before, not really. So not only do we get to see April O'Neil, which if you know anything about the comic or whatever,
maybe
yeah,
they need to hit that
learns,
developer up because they got April looking pretty thick over there. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, with that jumpsuit of hers that she always did, didn't she?
Yeah,
but as I was saying, this is the first time we've seen a lot of the gameplay, so you actually, you see when you get to fight a lot of the different types of foot soldiers and whatnot. But the fact that they had April there makes me wonder, where the hell is Casey Jones? Because April learned to fight from Casey Jones and the Turtles, so how do you not have Casey Jones there if you have April
DLC
fighting, right?
like
so I'm hoping he's there, or DLC or unlockable, whatever. And actually, to a lesser extent, a lot of people are also asking for Splinter. I'd love to see that too. Don't expect that. But otherwise, the game looks bomb. That's definitely a game I'm buying day one. If I have to buy multiple times, that's cool with me. No doubt.
That looks really.
Ninja Turtle game look good.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's by the Streets of Rage guys?
.mu. Yes. .mu.
Okay. Because
really
that was Streets of Rage was really, really good.
Oh, Streets of Rage was
really
amazing.
awesome.
I need to go back and play that DLC. I haven't gone back and played that. I need to go jump back in there.
That's another game that you'd hope it comes to Game Pass like Streets of Rage did, since they had that, they did that great business with them. But this isn't Sega though.
And PK can come back and redeem himself. And
learn how to jump down a hole.
Yeah, know how to jump
with a
down
big
a hole.
arrow pointing at you to do it.
We need to get up.
While he always want to talk. Hey,
Rage.
every time he's gonna sit here and like he'll see my gameplay and say, "Oh, that looks horrible." I'm just gonna just put that in there, have it saved, and then I'll just let it go on a loop for about 5 minutes. Let people see that. But anyway, well, Bloody stepped away. I was wanting to see if Bloody was going to give a sign out, but he probably getting ready to go stream. But thanks, Bloody, for coming. Go check him out. He's supposed to be bringing back a Smash podcast, I think, at some point. And then he does writing, like I said, for Level 1 Gaming. That's the gaming mag with Fame 2K and them. Then also he streams on Twitch. Well, no, I think he streams on Facebook now. So yeah, go check Twitch, go check Facebook. He's streaming some damn where now.
Follow Twitter, you'll find him. Where it is one way or another.
Yeah, go find him. You'll find him. And then one more thing that he does. Oh yeah, his old lady is on I guess on what, Limits podcast?
Yeah, in the Dragons Den he is with. She is with us. Akumu, yes.
Yeah, cool. What I want to say Akuma, but what is it? Akumu?
Akumu, yes.
Akumu, okay,
Akumu.
yeah. So you can check out his better half over there. All right, so let's keep it going. Super Monkey's Ball, Banana Mania. Anyone?
Yeah, that was a game I played on the GameCube when it first came out, and I was so happy it finally came to Xbox as well. Yeah, definitely love that. But this is slightly different, but we haven't had a new one in ages, so yeah, looking forward to that. That's all I can say, really.
All right, Splitgate Season 0.
I need to try that. I heard it's good.
It's not bad.
I've heard the name
Graphically
too.
it's ugly, but but it's really clever because it's like a similar feel to Halo, but it's got it's like Portal in one game. It's really wild.
Yeah.
I was like, how the hell is this going to work? And then I found myself doing some real crazy stuff with the portal, and then coming around shooting somebody from across the way, or having somebody come into my portal, and then I jump into another portal, close it, and then wait for them to come out that other portal because I was knowing what was going on the map, and I seen them and they come out of there, and then it's whatever. It's pretty slick. It's pretty slick. But yeah, all right. Riders Republic. Now you've been seeing some broken ass gameplay of me because I've been falling and busting my ass. Listen, I was trying to raise up my level to a more realistic landing. And it's challenging. It's real challenging, but it's fun as hell. I really do like it. It is definitely going to be a game I'm going to buy. It is different enough.
Sold me on it, talking about it. So yeah, I'm gonna try it out the beta.
Yeah. Try out the beta. It's the beta is until the 28th. So
the 28th.
Yeah, so
tomorrow basically.
Yeah, so tomorrow. So
oh shit, damn! I might not be able to try it out. Shit.
Damn. Well, you get it. I think it's like what 21 gigs. It's pretty substantial. You can do a lot in
25-ish.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really cool.
25-ish.
Yeah. All right. Then there's a new football game, that's basically soccer, and it's called the
Oh, the fake football. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
Real football.
UFL. That's who you talk to. It's who you talk to.
No, that's fake, right? That's fake, all right.
Yeah, so
Nah.
Americans will say football is what we watch every Sunday night. Oh, Sunday. All right, so there's UFL. It's another soccer game that is going to be coming out, and I guess it's supposed to be challenging the other two soccer franchises. Which good luck with that. Okay, all right. So then there's Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Sage. A lot of people have been talking about that. I remember my kids used to play the hell out of these games.
Yeah, the Lego Star Wars games.
Yeah,
the Lego games in general.
Yeah,
it was a whole franchise. It was so many. So just another one. Is this done by Traveler's Tales or is this?
Yeah, about the same people, but they are
ET games. Okay.
But a lot of people have been really anticipating this one because and people thought this was going to get eventually canceled because it was such a long wait in development. But now they showed it and it's coming out spring 2022, really hot. Outlast Trials. I don't do scary games anymore like that, so nah. All right, now
I tried the first Outlast. The second one I ain't played it yet, but the first one, you don't do scary games. Don't play Outlast. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I no. So what I've done?
Do not play Outlast.
Is it things like that? Okay, yeah. So thank you for telling me, brother. All right, so what I've done is kind of reversed and changed my whole gaming style because I don't play scary games like that no more. But you know what? This Doku V is right up my alley, bro. I don't.
Photorealistic, except for the characters.
That was a beautiful mess. I don't know what was happening. All I knew is I wanted to play it.
Yes,
yeah, it looked real nice.
Yes,
I have no clue what that game's about or what I'm going to be doing, but it just looked, it just looked like it was just having fun with itself. It's like it just was doing everything. So yeah, that was actually I'd say that's probably my other standout of this week.
Your game, yeah, that is definitely. I showed gameplay of this a long time ago when they first showed the trailer, and then another game that Pearl Abyss is doing, which are the makers of Black Desert. Plan 8. That game looked amazing. Then Crimson, what is it? It's Crimson something. I can't think of that right now. But it looks like Black Desert, but it's like a storied game and it's dragons and it's big pros.
Oh,
it kind of
yeah,
like The Witcher.
yeah.
But it looks amazing. But yeah. But this Doku 3 or 5, I should say, or V. I'm all over it. Just let me know when this game is dropping and I'm going to be on it. Sir X-Man in the chat, there has been multiple versions of Ghost Rider throughout history in the Marvel universe. You guys know that. Oh yeah, I know, but I'm just saying,
I didn't, or I knew about one. So yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, all right. Jurassic World Evolution 2. Okay. Far Cry 6. We was talking about that.
Well, we all know about that. We've talked about many times.
Yeah,
I mean,
that trailer looks real
good. I want to shout out to the anime rapper earlier on.
Man.
I do want to shout out to the anime rapper earlier on in the chat who was saying that Halo is a bit more like Far Cry than Metroid, and I think that was a good way to say it. So I just want to shout him out because he had mentioned that earlier.
Oh, okay. All right. A game that I played the beta and I liked it. It's intriguing. It's different. It's called Blood Hunt, a vampire blood hunt. It's pretty cool. It's one of those. It's a all online game. You can be a vampire. You customize your vampire to look however you want them to. They have got some slick looking, the way how. You got to wear them tight ass clothes, but they look slick. Like, I like their design, and you can walk around and you could just, you can't let people see you just grab somebody and just suck their blood. So you got to kind of entice them and catch them in a corner or something and get them. And then you might be out there and you might get attacked by some like, I don't know, vampire killer police. Or you could get killed by your own because he want to take what you got. So it's really crazy. It's a wild game. It has like a PUBG style, but it's weird. It's a different, but I like it. It's different for sure. So yeah, go look that up, Blood Hunt. Then there was a game called Park Beyond. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. Then there was from PlayStation, Jet: The Far Shore. That game looks good. Indie game from PlayStation. It's supposed to be coming out the 21st. I'm sorry, the 5th of this year. And then of course they announced the Forbidden West being delayed until February 18th, 2022. The New World Fate trailer. This is Amazon's game. This is one of their big titles that they want to get people to jump on. It looks interesting. It's got that ESO vibe to it. If people haven't played the Elder Scrolls Online, but this is exactly what that kind of reminds me of. With that, you got the Marvel's Future Revolution, which I think that's a mobile game off Android. You got Jumanji. Age of Empires
in that world.
Yeah. Age of Empires. I want to play this. I want to play this. I only played one other Age of Empires, and so I want to play this.
That one ironically it comes out on my birthday, but I'm getting it. My brother, who was a big fan of the series, that's pretty much one of 3 games he only plays, and Age of Empires is one of them. And it's kind of ironic that today is his birthday and it's not out yet, but it comes out on my birthday, and on my birthday I'll be buying it for him because that's the game he's been playing since the first one. So like over 20 years now, big fan of the franchise. He'll play it inside and out. So a lot of people, if you like RTS or if you're new into RTS and this is a good series to try with because it's not too complicated in the beginning. You don't have to build and be like StarCraft where you have to be a master strategy just to enjoy the game. They take it real slow. It's only a couple of characters here and there, and there's like a story to it because it's about history. So there's a lot in there, but it's not too complicated. So a lot of people who might want to try RTS but think it's too complicated, it's definitely the franchise for you because it's not hard or complicated at all.
All right.
Yeah, there's a chance that could be the biggest RTS too once it does get going.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a monster. And yes, Yobi, thank you for correcting me. I must have said Saga or something. It's a Saga. The Skywalker Saga. Let me be country with it. You know what I'm saying? Let me be country with it. All right. Let's see. Sifu, which I'm hyped about this game. I want to play this game.
Yeah,
me too.
I like that.
I want to play Sifu. Yeah. So what the question is now, like, I mean, I can get it on my PlayStation 4.
Didn't it get delayed?
PC, yeah, it did until February 22nd.
22nd, yeah.
22.
But
the question I got is I don't know if this is exclusive. I think this is going to be
it's PC and PS5 and PS4.
Well, no, I'm talking about like just overall. Like I think you'll eventually
consoles. I think it's PlayStation exclusive.
For now, a lot of the independent developers, they just don't have the resources to develop for everything at one time, and sometimes they'll even get a little bit of help with like temporary exclusive deals. I think it's rare that you see any indie like go permanent exclusive unless Microsoft or Sony, and it's going to go the other way. Unless Microsoft has like some big deal with like the Ascent developers, I expect that eventually will go to PlayStation. I think a lot of these games that are exclusive, there might be 6 months, maybe a year. Then you'll just like you saw with the Medium, right? Like nobody talked about the PlayStation version, and then all of a sudden there it is. So yeah, there could be deals in place, but generally, I don't think. It definitely doesn't help an independent developer to take a bag and go permanent exclusive unless they're getting, funding for like the next game where they get a big payout. So, and I don't know that it's at that level. So I doubt it. I bet you it does come to Xbox by next year. So
I think so too. All right. So let me keep it moving. Because I do want to touch on this last topic and then get out of here. Okay. So there's Crusaders Kings, which was shown on the Xbox event. It didn't look. I didn't catch my interest. I mean, that was the game with the catapult. Hollywood.
That had you going. Yeah, that had you going.
That went so long.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
went
it
way
was
too long.
body parts out that sucker.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, listen, I thought it was cool at first, but then it was like a little too extensive. I do agree. Psychonauts 2, which came out, I have to say, I'm not the biggest fan of platformers anymore, but I have definitely changed my tune with this. I like the hell out of this game. I think
Yeah.
It's so cute.
this game
It's
is
so cute.
it is very charming. This game is so unique. I never played the first one. And now I might be compelled to go back and play the first one, but I'm definitely going to beat this game. I cannot. I was playing it and I'm like, man, I got Riders Republic, I got this, I got that, I got this. But I mean, good grief, great game, great game. The
Try
Gunk.
to keep it moving. But
Yeah.
I'm like you, Psychonauts, never played the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Downloaded it, played it. My wife is making me wait for her to get in. I'm stuck in the casino when you in the medical lab right now. I want to
Oh,
play it.
man.
But you got to work tomorrow. She's like, don't touch it until I get home. And
Yeah.
so it's a good game. If it got her doing that, it's a good game. I'm enjoying it. So.
Yeah, my wife haven't had a
Yeah.
chance to see it yet. I've been telling her about it, and she's like, "What?" And because first, she's like, "Well, you got," because she got me mad, and then I got hooked up with Aliens Fireteam Elite, and I'm stoked for both of those games. But then I'm like, there's just so many things to play, so I'm like, man, I just gotta knock out this Psychonauts 2. It's just really that damn good. And then, Riders Republic, I'll probably play one more good, probably tonight. Play it one more good time, and then I'll back off. But you know what I'm saying. But I can't. It's been a lot of good stuff to play here lately. All right, so there's the Gunk, which I'm excited for. Looks like Xbox version of Mario Sunshine, and then yeah. It looks really promising. Graphically, it looks beautiful. But okay, all those games that was in that Humble Bumble. Of course, there was the Dodgeball Academia. There was a Bushinden, which that looks dope to me. That was old.
Yeah, I've been following that on Steam for a long time. Now it's in the console. Yes.
Yeah.
Does that look like Shinobi a little bit? Or
yeah, it looks like Shinobi. Yeah.
Like Ninja Gaiden. It's got a lot of those influences, man. Old school, 2D art style, art, all of that. Love that.
Archvale, Unpacking, Signals, Unsighted, Chinatown, Detective Agency, Flynn, Son of Crimson, and there was one more, Next Space Rebels. But all those games are going to be on Game Pass, so I mean, winning. And then there was a couple more, but then this was it right here. A game that people said that wasn't a game, but now maybe can be labeled as a game because Flight Simulator has racing coming to it here soon. So I thought that was going to be pretty cool, and that just kind of gives you an indication of what kind of crazy stuff that they're going to be adding to that. I'm stoked about that game. The game is good, but see, this is the thing about a game like that. You don't have to play it and no life it. You can go back to it anytime you want to. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of
like.
Yeah. It's just really cool. So then they show Forza 5.
Of course. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, there ain't really nothing else to be said about that. It's just like, yeah. And then Halo gets its official date, and they got a console that is sold out. Nobody can get right now. So, I mean, damn, but it looks pretty. So, I would like to get my hands on one of these days, but hey, I don't know.
But no luck in this one, KMEGA.
Yeah, I got you, bro. And it's steep. The price is steep, so it's pretty cool. Yeah. So, all right. So let's get down to the last topic, man. Right here. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart. They came out, and there's been more people that's been on the fence. I said this a while back. I got challenged for it. It was unpopular, but there was just something about it that they tell me Godfall wouldn't be able to be played on a PlayStation 4. Okay, now we know that Godfall. Yeah, they said Godfall was, power of the SSDs wasn't going to be able to be played. Wow. Yeah, wow. They said that, right? And so I'm like, okay, all right. So then they talk about, let's go to some more recent games. Returnal can be played on the older hardware, and then Ratchet and Clank can be played on the hardware. Because I mean, right there when they showed the trailer, the guy from Insomniac said that. Well, there's people that's been punching back about that, and I've seen multiple videos. I've read more stuff. There's more and more people coming out and saying and displaying how this is not true. Question I have for you guys is this now, and it doesn't matter because anybody can just jump on it. Do you think that there's a possibility that PlayStation just lied to the fan base about this game?
Damn right. I ain't a developer, but okay, go ahead.
No. You were speaking first. I just didn't hear you at first.
But,
that's all.
I'm gonna keep it short. And I'm gonna say this: I ain't a developer. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it takes to make this stuff, but just off using my eyeballs, looking at it. Mm-hmm. Even on the Xbox side, I'm an Xbox guy. We most of the Xbox guys. Right, Pretty much the stuff we've been playing right now thus far, ain't nothing really showing me that it can't be ran on, older hardware, last gen hardware. But when he went out and said PS3, I said, God, he really digging in. But I mean, it was bad. But like I said, outside of the graphics and maybe the frame rates, obviously the 60 frames, 120, everything we've been playing. Because like I said, even though I got the Series X day one, I still play on my One X. Everything, which is up for, like, quote, quote, the console exclusive, like the medium or whatever. But I've been playing the Alien Fireteam game on my One X. Then I go to my Series X just to see the difference. And the only big thing is really the loading times and the visuals. But, Sony came out up front. We believe in generations, and, they got a big fan base. They believed in it. They bought into it. And then they getting hit with reality. Miles Morales couldn't be played on the PS4. Guess where I played Miles Morales at? PS4. You know what I'm saying? And trust and believe, Ratchet and Clank coming to the PS4 because that portal jumping, I mean, like I said, I ain't a tech guy, I ain't no developer, but it's nothing that I haven't seen. Like, if you ever played the game Portal, I haven't played it, but I got a homeboy that played Portal all the time.
I had
he's playing on a lot
of Portal, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Look, his PC ain't got no solid state drives in it, but he's jumping through levels left and right when I was watching him play it years ago. So, I mean, like I said, outside of the frames, I mean, you want the 60 frames, the 120. And then you get the PS5 or you go get the Series X.
I don't even think it is. I think Ratchet and Clank is only 30.
Ratchet and Clank is 40 at best if you have a 120 hertz screen.
I thought it had a 60 frame mode, though. I mean,
it might have a 60 frame mode.
But it's 1080p. If it's 60 frames, it's 1080p because it doesn't have a 1440p. I don't think that PlayStation's had a game out that's 1440p right now.
It's not. Well, the game isn't real 4K, and so I think the base resolution is either 1440p or 1080. I forget which. I don't even remember if it's 60. Okay, so the 1080p, so the 60 frame mode is 1080p, but the quote unquote 4K, which I think is just 1440 upscaled or whatever, they have an option where they can give you 40 frames if you have a 120 hertz display. So if just like when you have a 60, you do 30. Well, with 120, you could do 40, but it's only 10 more frames than 30. That's not really a big deal.
That's nuts. Okay,
so that's what I'm saying. It's nothing shown that make me think that I got that the SSD is in effect right now. So Sony's lying right now, but they doing what they got to do, and we see how the fans are. We all on Twitter, we all do little videos, and we see how the negative comments we get. They got the fan base to hype them up. They sold them on smoke and mirrors, and they running with it. But reality is hitting them fast and it's hitting them hard. And mark my words, all this only on PS5 is going to be also and PS4 if you want to play it that way. And that's how it's going to be. Because they're not going to lose out on all that money that they potentially leaving there. And I mean, we all said that's what they're about, making that dollar. And, it's on how you want to play. If you're a PlayStation guy, you're going to get the PS5. You can play the best way you can play your games. Same thing with Xbox. I'm an Xbox guy mostly, so I could have waited on the Series X, but I play everything on Xbox, and I'm gonna play it the best way I can play it, and that's what I did. But Sony's just, I don't know what they're doing this, but I tell you what, they got the hype machine, and it's working, and they're gonna keep doing it, and there ain't nothing we can do about it. We just got to wait it out, watch it, and then laugh at the people that jump on the horse and ran with it. All you can do is laugh at them, say, I told you so, be quiet, sit in the corner. Good day, sir. And move on to the next.
Sir. All right, so let me read this from 108 Dragon. Hold on, let me find it. You know, if I gotta do it. Where is it at? Oh man.
Wasn't it the most recent one?
It is.
Was it? Scroll down.
108. He said, Mark Cerny said Xbox One X couldn't do 4K 60. He was wrong. So when you're not on the development team, they can I think you say whatever. He was wrong about that. Facts. All right. And so listen. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's just that I was.
Did you read my super chat? I'm in the goddamn building.
Yeah. How did you do it? Why did you do the super chat? And then you sit there. Okay.
I'm trying to tell you, he's there.
Because you know what? Because I'm part of this team. God damn it! And I ain't. I'm still. You listen. I'm doing 100 things right now. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something, man.
He's so aggressive.
It's like these mother suckers with the COVID-19 pandemic conspiracy theories. Oh, they gave it to us because they needed to shut the world down. First of all, when a developer, right? I don't care who it is. Everybody has an opinion. That don't make it facts, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you develop something on the if you watching something from a developer's standpoint, or you watching a game, or you have an opinion, right? You voice your opinion. That don't make it facts. That doesn't make it facts. This dude had an opinion. He tried to demonstrate that it could be done on PS3, not PS4. He really tried to discredit Insomniac for what they did. You got to look at some things, like some people need a voice. You hear all these people got a voice on Twitter. That don't make them valid.
But he's already valid. He's already established. He's a developer.
No. It's not about being established.
Yeah.
People have personal opinions.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say this dude don't know what he's talking about. What I'm telling you is, like I told Sick earlier, listen, if you got to jeopardize frame rate, loading, and everything else, that means that the game cannot be played at the same fidelity. So if you have to sacrifice 10 other things to get it to work, then it doesn't work how it is today. So I get that.
But developers do that with everything, with all types of games. Though.
I don't think anybody disagrees on that.
Let me finish. Mm-hmm. When it comes to Godfall, there's nothing that game does that can't be done on last gen. That could be done on 360. Will it look the same? No, sir. They got to cut out way more special effects and everything else. But when something's built for something specific, loading and speed, you can't change that with last gen or the gen before that. So, yes, you probably could do Ratchet and Clank on PS3. Would it play the same? Hell to the no.
Particularly the loading, you mean, right? With the loading through the
game.
No. Well, hold on. Everybody chill.
Go ahead.
Let him finish, because I want him to finish, because I have something to say afterwards.
Okay, go ahead.
And that's what the game is built on. It's built on the SSD and the loading times, right? And I'm not, like I always said, there's 10,000 RPM hard drives out there that people are not going to pay that money to do. They're complaining about paying $219 for SSD. But 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, with a 10,000 RPM mechanical drive, that was the price of that then, and more. Yeah. So if you have to sacrifice how the game is played, it's not the same. That's all I'm saying. Of course it can be done on last gen, but will it perform the same? No, sir.
Oh, well, nobody's saying that.
That's the point.
Well, yeah,
no. But KMEGA, I'm not discrediting anybody. What I'm telling you is, if you have to if the game is built like this today, if a car is made to do 200 miles an hour, but you could say in 1986 we could do a car at 200 miles an hour, but this is the sacrifice it would take to get there. So it's not the same.
Okay. Well, here's the thing about that.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
Here's the thing about that. What I've seen. Okay, now I've read, and I pasted this in the chat for everybody to see. In the last paragraph from videogameschronicle.com, Mike Daly, the game director, told Axios, you could make the game run like the new Ratchet and Clank on the PS4, but just visually speaking, you would have to dial back a ton in order to get it to run. Visually speaking, not load times or anything else. And I think that was the point. Right, that was always the point. That's what people are debating and not getting clear. We're talking mainly about the load times.
I think he did try to clear it up a little bit, because basically what he was talking about game design, not necessarily the entire game. And I think and I think that's what 108 was just saying. So it's not going to be the same game. So like, because you heard a lot of this as we're going into the new generation. People saying, "Well, you're going to be able to do things that, like, from a gameplay standpoint, that you've never been able to do before." And that's, I mean, I guess it just depends on how far back you're willing to scale the graphics. Because if you have low enough, if you don't need that much memory, if your textures are low enough, then you can warp to wherever the hell you want to warp to, and do that same thing on those systems. But I think that, like, and I think he even kind of cleared it up. It's like, you're not going to have that level of visual fidelity and be able to do that, because that's going to take a lot more. You're going to have to
you'll see a lot of repeating textures and things like that, right? And to get around that, you'll see a lot of repeating textures and stuff to save on memory, things like that. And those were the examples he was making.
So if you have to sacrifice performance and everything else and downgrade it to next to nothing, it's not the same game.
But it won't be downgraded to next to nothing. It just would. We've seen this with.
It would look different.
It would look different.
Okay,
you would warp to areas that would be lower.
I got one question.
No, let me say what I got to say. My piece on this one is that all you have to do. I think this is the perfect scenario. Look at Battlefield 4 on the 360 and look at Battlefield 4 on the on last gen on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And that's what I think that you'll have. You know what I'm saying? The game still had everything except for...
You just mean graphically, not load times or anything else.
Yeah. But Levolution, things like that, wasn't
even there at all.
Right. So, but the game is playable.
But this is my point.
Go ahead.
Let me say something before I get out of here.
All right.
And I'm not trying to have the last word, but look at the situation with 360 versus PS3. Same generation. We had the same game, fighting games, first-person shooters, both of them on the same system, right? Same generation. Yeah. 360 outperformed PlayStation, running rings around it. Same games, Call of Duty, pick it, third party, pick it. Grand Theft Auto, they the same game, but they ran differently. All the games on that era ran better on 360. Speed, loading, textures, resolution. Imagine putting a game of this magnitude on PS3. Come on.
Well,
that developer is retarded.
The question wasn't so much about the PlayStation 3. It was the fact of Sony's checkered past.
You can only be done on the PS5.
Yeah, only on the PS5. That's where I had the issue from day one when I brought it up, and we've had this conversation before.
Right, we did.
Yeah. And so the thing of it is that everybody knows that it will be scaled down on the PlayStation 4.
Of course.
Right.
Graphically,
not just resolution.
No one's going to debate that.
But hold on. But I don't know. But listen, let's not go too far, because Ratchet and Clank on PlayStation 4 looked amazing. So if
no, we ain't talking about just graphics.
Well,
I said
no,
about the I talked about the
I know you're
loading.
talking about the loading parts right there, but this is
Yes,
the part where he's
yes,
talking about
that's all that mattered to me.
yeah,
Right.
but it's not a thing to where you can just do it automatically. It is pre-rendered, so it's already going to happen without you doing anything. That's what he was talking
No,
about in the article,
but that's what
and he says that's
this
whether
is
they
what
can
I said
achieve
to you.
it. Yeah,
This is what I said to you. When you see those rifts pop up, you don't have to do it. You can go around them and continue to level.
yeah.
That's what I was telling you.
Mhm.
That's what I was telling you. It's not like you have to go into a rift. You kind of create some of those rifts and you have an option to go in or go around it. That's what I was telling you. That's why I said, listen, when if it was pre-rendered, I could get that. But when those rifts pop up or you create a rift, you don't have to do that rift. You don't have to go into the next world. So it's not pre-rendered.
No,
It's
once the
created
rift
on the
starts,
fly.
once the rift starts, that's the pre-rendered part of what he's
No,
explaining.
no,
The
but you
pre-rendered
have
part,
to,
right? It's happening to the side.
but you have to create it. Some of them are pre-rendered. But you can shoot an area and create a rift and decide to go in it or not.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I
some
was
of them
trying
are
to tell you.
right, but some of them are also mini areas, as he explained, where it's like repeating
But
textures and stuff, and it's obvious. And it's hold on. Let me say what I'm saying. There's also examples. This same developer did it on the PS3 with Lego Star Wars 3, exactly the same thing. Not just sorta, kinda, literally the same thing 2 generations ago. This is what I'm saying. This isn't just some normal developer. His whole YouTube page was based on explaining how programmers and developers do what they do on games.
Yeah.
Long before this debate came up. This was just another example of that. And when the game director, Mike Daly, the actual game director of the game, said what I quoted, and he only mentions the graphics and not the loading time and everything else, I think that's open and shut right there, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But the loading times is what matters.
But
That
he
was
didn't
my
say. He
biggest
said
thing.
right, but the loading time is there. He's talking about the graphics. That's what's going to change. The loading time and everything else is going to be the same. He didn't say any of that would change. Then it's the game director himself.
I want to hurry up and wrap this up because I was saying I don't want to try to do a 3-hour podcast, but I love
my wife giving me the side eye.
I was loving this discussion, but of course the Halo discussion was so bomb, and then everybody started jumping in, so it was like holy shit. So this is the thing. This is the thing right here where I just got to push back on people that try to tell me that it's just not going to happen. I brought this up before, and I'll bring it up again. You got God of War, and I asked this question, and I asked it again to the people who's watching, and to everybody on the panel. You got God of War, you have Horizon Forbidden West. Which are bigger games? Those 2 games I mentioned, or Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart?
Obviously, those 2. Well,
right.
God of War, I don't know about Horizon versus Ratchet.
No. There's no question. There's no question that those games are bigger.
God of War and Horizon Forbidden West is going PS4. Those are resolution.
Are they going to PS4? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the point that I'm making.
That's what he said. So what I'm saying is, those are games that you could bump down special effects, draw distances, and resolution. That can be done. But when you build something off speed and loading, specifically, those old hard drives can't do it.
All right, what about?
And I'm gonna stick with it. Hold on. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Okay, KMEGA.
Oh yeah. What about?
You said what about what?
Ghost of Tsushima. What about The Last of Us 2? I mean, that to me is like these are bigger games.
But listen. Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2 at 60 frames cannot be done last gen. Not at that resolution.
No, see, you're talking about resolute. See, you're not getting what I'm saying, or you're not trying to admit what I'm saying. I'm not talking about. I'm saying we all know that every game's got to get scaled back. It's the same reason why there was PlayStation fans that kept saying, "Look, this is what's going to hold back Xbox is because of the generation, because there won't be games that's going to propel to show the true power of the Series X." And that's what that whole thing was being said, and that's why.
Right.
Sony
so what are you getting at?
Okay, what the point I'm trying to say is that
Ghost of Tsushima update be done on last gen?
Well, I'm just saying the game's been ported over. People are posting the shit out of Ghost of Tsushima, and when you look at what Digital Foundry and what other people has been showing, it's not that much of a difference. But people are
No,
swearing
it's not.
because
as a
It's
pro.
not. It's not.
yeah.
It's not that much. Yo, I agree with that.
Okay.
But those are special effects boosts for PS5. That's not taking advantage of a SSD. They just having a powerful graphic card versus a low power graphic card. That's always going to happen.
No,
But my thing was with Ratchet and Clank, it wasn't about resolution. It was about the loading times.
Right.
Had nothing to do with graphics because graphics always can be toned back.
We play games that's had those type of portals, like Portal, like other games. There's people just mentioning in the comment section that's talking about these other games that had these type of abilities. That's the whole reason why there's been people speaking out on this. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up as well is because of their track record. Remember what they said, what Sony said about, forget about the whole generations and about backwards compatibility. Think about what they said about their own resolution and about how more advanced that this game was and what it was running on with their title that came out, Killzone. They lied. They said the same thing about Watch Dogs. They got caught. They lied. So what makes
Facts.
you?
They said Killzone was 1080p and it really wasn't.
Right, and that's the thing that I'm bringing up is that could Sony be just wolfing tickets because they want to sell the PlayStation 5, which I totally understand.
They said Miles Morales couldn't be done.
Right.
That's a fact.
Right.
They're liars.
That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to say. Are they lying about Ratchet?
Yeah, no.
And you're saying no.
And
that's fine.
We had this entire conversation verbatim a month ago.
We did.
We did. And I had to interject and saying both of you are right.
Ratchet and Clank will not be going PS4.
Okay. All right.
I bet.
Lemon is saying it shouldn't be. Lemon is saying it shouldn't be because the integrity of the game's performance will be compromised.
The integrity. Right. Thank you, sis.
The integrity will be compromised. KMEGA is saying, screw that. They've already proven they don't care and they need the money from PS4 players, which is accurate because not everybody can get their hand on PS5. So should they do it? Probably not. Will they with their track record and their past behavior? More than likely. Because we also brought up Returnal, and Returnal was the next game that we're like, can it be done? So, given their track record, I think it will, especially with the last ones coming out to it. But I'm going to say this, and this is always my go-to. If you ever nah, they didn't say that. Jim Ryan looked at the camera when they showed Miles Morales and said, everything you are about to see can only be done on PS5. And literally achieve, can be done on the PS5. And I specifically remember because when they showed Miles Morales, I was like, yeah, I might have to get it for that. That's cool. I specifically remember being like, yeah, I have to get a PS5 at some point because I want to play Miles Morales. Same with Sackboy and same with almost everything that was shown. Everything. And even when they lied about saying, we're going to let you guys know when the pre-orders are live, we're not going to have you guys just not knowing and then release pre-orders within a day. The same way they looked at the camera and said, everything you see is PS5 only. And then everything went haywire. Yeah, so thanks for buying the PS5, but everything's also coming to PS4. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what else can be said.
Yeah,
I don't.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm thinking you stop it, but you ain't. Go ahead.
We're playing telephone, but it's I don't.
You don't know the last word to say to finish it and be done.
I don't because me personally, I'm extremely literal. I'm very literal. And that was the most literal you could get. There wasn't any speculation. There wasn't any hearsay, rumblings, rumors. Straight from the mouth of the head of the company was you can't do this any other way. Me personally, what I heard, because I'm petty, was get your money up because everything you about to see, open your purse because you can't get it on your PS4. And I was like, damn, I'm feeling real exposed and broke right now. But okay, continue the show. So for them to be and then They didn't even come out in a video to say, yo, let me retract my statement. Everything's PS4. They did it in an article. So if you didn't catch it, if you were driving home or whatever the hell, you didn't know about it and don't not have Twitter or some social media. If you just watch State of Play, you're like, oh, everything's PS5. Imagine actually like trying to pre-order, getting it, and then finding out, nah, bruh, that's actually on PS4. Like, no, I watched the video. Yeah, they actually retracted that with an article that they didn't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
So, it'll be bad enough for the pre-order. They said the pre-orders were tomorrow, and then it was like not even an hour later, and you could have missed out then too. So
you're like, oh, they're live now, and it's just been downhill since then. So me personally, I don't anything that they say, I take with a grain of salt. But that's just me being, kind of a skeptic. Like, how do I know what you're saying is actually what's accurate?
Right. Because
every time I was finding out about something, because Godfall was like, nah, this is a true PS5 first party exclusive.
Yes.
Get your money up, because you can't play this shit unless you got that PS5. I was like, damn, they going hard. Okay. Then again with the articles, Godfall coming to PC and it's coming to it was just like, hold on now. That was the catalyst for me. Once Godfall went to PC and PS4, I was like, oh, you're duplicitous. I don't know what to believe anymore, because every time you say something, it comes out, it gets hyped, and then it's just like, ooh, by the way, yeah, it's coming out on here too. It's like, oh, well, okay, it is what it is. So to wrap it up, I don't think Ratchet and Clank should come to PS4, but given the track record, I think it could. It might. The only one that I'm really holding out on is Returnal. I don't think they're going to do it with Returnal, but I'm no expert. That's just
and at the time when we was talking about it, I didn't know it was on the Unreal Engine when I said it wasn't coming to PS4. Had I known, I would have been like, it's the Unreal Engine, like, duh. But it hasn't happened yet. And with the whole situation, maybe they probably should, but they probably won't.
Both games would,
but they could.
Yeah, both games wouldn't come until at least a year or two later.
I figure anyway.
If they do. So I don't know. It was a great discussion. Let's get out of here, man. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Hollywood was coming out. You know what I'm saying? At first it was Mr. Simmons. He was nice. He was cordial. But then, you know what I'm saying? I guess our wife started giving you that side eye. He was like, hey, man. Where can they find you, man, brother?
Without nobody. You know me, like I said, man. Xbox Live Hollywood 27910 on Twitter. JMS Jamie. PlayStation Cray Dollar, man. That's where I'm at. I got a PC. I need to set some shit up on Steam. I guess do something. I don't need to touch the thing.
PC up and running. I thought you said your PC was,
Man. Oh, I got a pretty decent PC. I just. It sits in the corner. I wasted my money. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't use it. Nobody uses it. It sits there.
Oh man, good grief.
Yeah. I bought a pre-built though. I cheated. It's Alienware. It's pretty good. But it just sits there.
I think the gaming the PC what do they call PC Master Race? I think they'll give you a pass because that's Alienware.
No.
So I don't know.
Oh my lord.
What's the
Not
problem?
so much anymore, apparently.
Apparently, but it's a good PC. It'll run circle around probably 80% of theirs. So I don't care.
All right. So
definitely.
All right. Well, let's get on to it. One Bad Mother, man, thank you for stopping by. You know what I'm saying? I guess I just need to start talking about some Halo, and the next thing you know, you might just want to. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, where can they find you at, man? Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks again. And I know I gave all my stuff before, so I'll try to be quick this time. But yeah, thanks for having me on. It was fun talking, especially Halo. But, there's some other good games too this week. We saw at Gamescom. It was a good time just talking gaming. If anybody wants to find me, you can find me on Twitter at One Bad Mother at mother_1. I'm on Xbox Era. There's a bunch of places over there. Go to our forums, look us up. I do write some stuff for them and some videos too. But yeah, man, it was a good time, and hopefully
You're One Bad Mother. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, man.
You're a Halo fan?
Yes, sir.
Big fan.
It's Halo or nothing. Shut your mouth.
Wait, what?
It's Halo or nothing.
Halo or nothing. It's a Halo year. Everything else don't exist. Let's talk about it.
Well, you know what? Halo's the reason I'm on the Xbox. I saw it, but 20 years ago, I saw it on a kiosk, and my ex. Yeah, I saw it at a GameStop. I was at the mall looking at rings with my ex.
Oh my lord!
Oh man, I got you.
Let me go get my collar with my shirt.
Right? Yeah, my ex.
Religion. Halo is religion. Let's go.
So I saw it, and my ex had to wait for her ring. So that's how much it got to me. So,
man,
because I ended up taking.
I got 117 on all my boxes. Let's go.
Whoa,
that's right.
Well, thank you, mother, for that. Thank you for letting us know. It's Halo or nothing, and then you got the chant. Shout out to Bloody who came on here earlier, but that was fun too. So, D, where can they find you at, man? You out here, man. She's refereeing again, boy. This Ratchet and Clank stuff ain't gonna ever probably go away until maybe after 2 years. I ain't gonna say. I'll be saying, okay, you know what? You're right.
You can find D at Fortnite watching the Martin Luther King speech. Let's go.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna need you to watch your mouth over there. Go ahead and watch your mouth, sir.
Where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Genji's Mom, on PSN, Xbox at Kirby Titan, and I'm not really on Twitch, but I'm on there at DMarieB. Just playing miscellaneous action adventure, and right now Psychonauts 100%. So yeah, send me a message, hit me up. I'm always chilling.
Yes, and hey, devs, you know what I'm saying? Y'all better work on them thighs, like she said.
Listen.
She looked down and don't see them thighs.
Yes.
She don't see them. She don't see them thighs.
I heard you work at Thigh Stock.
She said, "I better see them devs work on them thighs." Woo,
listen, all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that
G is a cashier at Thigh Stock.
All I'm saying is, not saying that every Black female character has to have it, but if I'm playing a game, I want my character to look as much like me as possible. If you see my Xbox avatar, then that would make sense. But that's all I'm saying. Like, I want it to be as close to me as possible. More body inclusion, more height inclusion. I don't know if y'all notice, games don't have height options.
Yeah.
But, all the inclusions, just as close to me.
Join the club.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We know
you're
not able to add your height, add your weight, add your body shape or type. So that's all I'm saying. I need devs to be a little bit more inclusive, so I can do.
There's always an option for KMEGA though. His weight, they'd be like, "What's your weight?" He'd be like, "Oh."
Wow.
Wow. He's getting. Yeah. I guess this is after hours.
Yeah, it's after hours. Anyway, thank you, D. Six Land, welcome back, brother. What's been going on, man? Let everybody know where they can find you at, man.
Well, you can find me on Twitter with the same name you see here in most every game platform known to man. You can find me on this podcast every Friday, and of course on that Dragon's Den podcast every Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Come check us out. I'll see y'all next week.
No doubt. Then last but not least, man, I think is he still here? Brooklyn. Where can they find you at? 108.
You can find me at 108 Dragons TV. GRG Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And shout out to everybody that was here, man. Sorry I was late.
When he popped in, I was like, "Holy shit! What time is it?" I said I was about to get out of here in about 30 minutes. Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you so much. I didn't forget anybody. Oh no. Okay. All right. No. And shout out to Xbox 448 who popped in here too for a hot minute. He wanted to get.
Shout out to the dude that sucks in Halo. Facts.
Oh,
man.
shit.
Wow.
Whoa.
Spicy words when he not here.
Whoa.
Oh, that's real spicy.
Whoa.
What the hell?
All right, man. We better get out of here, man. Thank you. GRG is definitely back, baby. And the internet's working strong. Boy, I love it. Thank you, Cox Communications, for telling me what I needed to do, because I was over here struggling for the last month. Like, what's happening? I was blaming Windows 11. I was blaming Briggs. If Briggs is my dog, I was blaming every damn body. I was even calling my kids. What the hell did y'all do to my internet?
Listen,
The only person I didn't blame was my wife.
At least this week, GRG lasted longer than 16 minutes, because last week was goddamn.
Yeah.
I saw 3 different posts.
I wasn't tuning after the party. I said 16 minutes. What the hell happened?
Yeah, I was looking like, what? I was like,
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
That's what the internet said. That's what the internet said. I'm about to end it all. And then I had to call. Then I had to call the homies. You know what I'm saying? And then that was a totally different type of GRG, because that was, there was no black representation except for me. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Dark. Shout out to Dark Don. You know what I'm saying? And Cali Rex for coming in and filling out for that last week. So come check that out if you didn't know it. So that was great. That was great for them to talk about stuff. So, all right, guys, we are out of here as usual, man. Check us out on Friday nights, 8 p.m. every Friday night, man. I took off the break. The hiatus is over. It's time to get back to work. So, that's what we do. And, maybe one day, no, I'm not going to say that, because that's what I'm going to say. All right, guys, we are out of here. Good night. Thank you. Peace.
Oh.
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. This was the GRG podcast.